Thank you, Rick. It is a big day, not only in motorsport, but sport in general on NBCSN. And it's the first day of summer, and the upper Midwest is always an attractive vacation destination. And if you add in the MTT IndyCar Series annual visit to one of the best road courses in the world, you've got the perfect weekend. Welcome to IndyCar Live, presented by Liberty Mutual from Road America. Today, it's the REV Group Grand Prix, and in the background, you could hear the celebration of the AMR safety workers here today. Fans love this place. 4 miles of fast, sometimes treacherous racing, 14 turns, and we are ready to go. Thanks for joining us from the head of the grid, a location I'm very familiar with. I'm Kevin Lee, in for Lee Divvy this weekend, who's on track and field assignment, and with former racer and current racer Townsend Bell. I love this place. Fans love it. Why do drivers like it, Townsend?
It's really simple. One word, because this place is gnarly. It's a real racetrack. You're flirting with almost 200 miles an hour down the straightaways to heavy brake zones and curbing that you can climb all over and get creative. But if you use it too much, it'll allow a trailing driver to get a run. That's why this place is so dramatic. The drivers get up in their seat for the challenge to win Road America.
So as we get the second half of the season started today, there are a number of storylines, but I think the biggest right now is that really diverse championship outlook, and young, old, somewhere in between, all up there fighting for it.
Yeah, 2 young guns at the top of the charts there. Pato O'Ward has just been sensational. The most exciting driver to watch in IndyCar right now. Alex Palou, a little bit more measured, but also a young gun. But you cannot ignore Scott Dixon. Year after year, he's lurking there in 3rd place, a 6-time IndyCar champion. He's ready to pounce today.
And remember, you have to think that Joseph Newgarden is going to win at some point, and he's starting from the pole today. So let's talk about some of our favorites from our friends at PointsBet and the odds to win today. What you got?
Well, I like Colton Herta starting up there on the front row. His team, Andretti Autosport, won here in 2019, so not that long ago. And the young American hard charger Herta is hungry for another win. He won at the streets of St. Pete earlier this year. He's ready to go. But Kevin, I want to know who you like.
As you know, I'm relatively conservative. I think Joseph Newgarden's car looks strong at race pace. He's due to win. I'm picking it's going to be today. Let's talk more about those championship contenders and the young guns up at the front. And we start with Dylan Welch.
Thanks, Kevin. Well, it's all Pato O'Ward right now. He leads the points championship by 1 point. Now, a year ago, it may have been a different tale, but since this race last year, you've gotten a couple race wins. You've gotten a full year's worth of experience. How is the Pato of today, of right now, handling the pressure and responsibility of being the points leader?
Yeah, man, I mean, I think we've had a good year so far. We've had a few races where, you know, we honestly ended where we shouldn't have been. And we haven't really found the happy window yet this weekend. We haven't been the fastest in a 1 lap. We haven't been the fastest in over a stint. So we, like I was telling you earlier, I think we're kind of just heading to the race, be like, oh, let's see if this happens. We made a lot of changes to the car, so hopefully this is gonna, put us a bit more in the window of just working with our tools and just having a strong car over the period of the race.
Well, putting yourself in that window so you have some adjustability with the tire deg and everything we've talked about so far this weekend. How valuable do you hope that is over the course of the race?
Yeah, it's going to be big, man. I mean, yesterday we saw that, some guys did some red runnings. We did blacks. And the rears are going to be tough to hang on to. So I think it's going to be up to us to try and help the tires kind of keep some life into them, especially for the last, maybe 3-4 laps of the stint. And then the problem is when you do that, then you're, if you're under attack, and it puts you into a pretty difficult situation. So I think, we need the car to do its job, and if we're nice to them, we should be okay.
Thanks, Pato. He'll try to avenge a Road America win that slipped through his fingers late last year, starting in the 10th spot today, Dave.
Dylan, Alex Palou is part of that championship fight now, just 1 point in arrears. Your team won this race last year. You're aware of that. How close are you to getting a double here, perhaps?
Yeah, they won 2 races last year here, so it's awesome. It's a beautiful day here at Road America. We're starting top 5. It's Father's Day, so happy Father's Day to all dads around there. And yeah, we're gonna try and get a good race. 55 laps that we have now in front of us, but we have a good car, so I'm sure it's gonna be a good day.
You say it's a good car. You had 30 minutes yesterday afternoon for warm-up, not morning warm-up, yesterday, right? How good was it, and did you want it changed any for today?
It was not really good just because we didn't really have lots of tires, so we just had like really old tires. We got to the cliff of the tires. We were like just driving around and struggling a bit, but it's always tough to really know how are you on the warm-up. But yeah, we tried a couple of things which we implemented for today, and today everybody's starting on new tires, and we have new tires for the race. So it's going to be much better than yesterday. And yeah, I'm sure we have a good car today.
Kevin, we'll keep an eye on the 24-year-old Spaniard, especially when those tires decide to go off the cliff again.
Definitely. Plenty of things to watch for today, Dave. All right, Townsend, let's just break it down to these two young guys separated by 1 point. Who do you like today between them?
Well, if you look at both drivers, they've each won a race this season, but totally different styles. Pato O'Ward, I'm going to say he's more of a bullfighter. That result at Detroit, he put it in his hands, and he fought that car to the victory. For Palou, a little more of a bull rider. If you look at his win at Barber Motorsports Park, more measured, more technique, a little more subtle. I think the advantage goes to Palou today because of the tire degradation that they just talked about. It's going to take finesse to be the first at the line.
Well, there may not only be a changing of the guard amongst the drivers, maybe within the teams. The, quote, Big Three has won every championship since Panther won in 2002, but it's been quite the unique journey for Sam Schmidt, as Robin Miller explains.
Sam Schmidt was sitting by his cars a few years ago after Aero Electronics had bought into his IndyCar team he owned with Rick Peterson. Now, there's never been a more spirited or optimistic competitor in any sport than the man who was rendered a quadriplegic in a 2000 IndyCar test. Nothing ever seems too daunting or impossible with Sam. But on this day in 2019, it was tough to accept what he was selling. A way to improve and be recognized alongside the big three IndyCar teams of Penske, Ganassi, and Andretti. At the time, Aero SP owned 7 IndyCar wins, but after missing the Indy 500 in 2018 and winless in 2019 and 2020, it not only seemed unlikely, but also very unrealistic. Now 8 races into the 2021 championship, and Sam's squad is atop the point standings with a 21-year-old Charger named Pato O'Ward. It's one of the great stories in any endeavor, and how it gelled is a testament to working together from all over the globe. Aero, the technical company out of Colorado, after sponsoring Sam's team for 4 seasons, began sponsoring Team McLaren in Formula One starting in 2019. Zach Brown, the CEO of McLaren, wanted to run his iconic brand full-time in America and joined the IndyCar partnership in 2020. They wisely signed O'Ward, brought in legendary engineer Craig Hampson, and then Sam sealed the circle by naming Taylor Kyle as team president. Kyle's #1 goal was to change the culture of being happy with 5th to being mad if you didn't win. And last Sunday in Detroit, he delivered on that promise.
New Garden's on 15-lap-old Reds. We've got a shot here, but we need to be smart. Circuit flag's out. Hell of a drive. P1, baby.
Today at Road America, Sam will be standing and looking back at the competition. I can't imagine a better metaphor for this incredible turnaround.
And hopefully you had the chance to see that full piece on the Today Show from NBC. Thanks to Aero, Sam Schmidt taking steps again. So inspirational. You know him well. You drove from him.
Yeah, I raced for Sam Schmidt 3 times at the Indy 500. Back then, he didn't even have an IndyCar team. He was an Indy Lights team that had a partnership with Chip Ganassi Racing. He bought the team. He got the resources from Aero and McLaren. He has the people now, and now he has the championship lead as an IndyCar team owner. There is a motor within Sam Schmidt that doesn't quit.
That's one of the storylines. Another is this unique field. 2 drivers from Haas F1 last year are now in the IndyCar field. Kevin Magnussen, fresh off his first IMSA win, is racing here today. So is Romain Grosjean, who's nearly won. He's quick this weekend. We'll watch him. You're watching IndyCar Live, brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need.
You know, artists like myself love living in Nashville because it's always producing amazing new sounds. In fact, here's something from the streets of Nashville I'm loving right now. Hit it, Dale. Woo! How great is this?
Rev Paisley and Dale Earnhardt Jr. host the pre-race when NASCAR comes to Nashville on NBCSN.
We should do a show together.
Show?
Yeah, like a race. Host a race or something.
Something's on my face?
No, you're fine. It's not what... We'll see y'all soon.
Oh, and what a day we have Coming up today on NBCSN, it's racing all afternoon. Right after we're done, we go to the Nashville Superspeedway, trying to slow down the Hendrick Freight Train. Eric Almirola has the chance to do that. And we've got hockey tonight with Vegas and Montreal coming up in Canada. Right here, NBCSN is where you need to be all day. Can't wait to watch Dale Jr. and Brad Paisley take it from us from Music City later this afternoon. Well, we touched on that unique group here racing at Road America, and look at the first timers here. They include a couple of NASCAR drivers. They include Oliver Askew, who has raced here, but he's filling in this weekend for Rinus VeeKay, who has a broken collarbone from a biking accident. But let's get more from the Formula One crowd with Dave.
And that would be Romain Grosjean. Bonjour, Romain. Ça va?
Bonjour, ça va très bien.
Très bien. That means very good, and that's about as far as I go with my French. However, you go a lot farther in an IndyCar, and with speed this weekend, Romain, both in qualifying and practice, are you on the cusp of your first win, perhaps?
Oh, it would be nice, you know. We definitely wouldn't say no. So we've had a good weekend so far. Quali yesterday, I was hoping a little bit more, but I guess it's quite good to be disappointed with P7 on the grid. And we've made some changes on the car for today. The charge regulation is going to be key, and hopefully I can use some of the experience from the Pirellis in Formula One to go a little bit longer than anyone else.
I'm going to ask if your GP experience at Indy would go a long way as well. That was the last natural road course for this group, and you did very well.
Yeah, we did very well there. We had an amazing setup. Here we've had to tweak it a little bit, but I'm confident that Olivier, my engineers, find something here and that we can put off a good race.
Bonne chance aujourd'hui. All right, Kevin?
Hey, one of the great things about being down here on the grid is you never know who's going to walk by. We're just talking about you. Kevin Magnussen, fresh off an IMSA win last week in Detroit. Are you ready for this in IndyCar?
Oh, no, I'm not ready. I mean, it's been a great experience so far, you know. Jumping straight into a wild race car like this is, you know, it's been really great fun on a great track like this also.
Kevin, what's been the biggest challenge just acclimating to the situation here this weekend? Last second coming, and what's the hardest part?
I mean, it's just really having to get to know the car and get on top of the limits of the car in such a short time. You know, if you get a test day, you know, you can go over the limit of the car, go off in the gravel, and then you found that limit. But around here, you know, in practice, you got to get those laps in, so you can't overstep that limit. So you have to build up a little bit slower, and you have a lot less time. So that's been the hardest part. It's not an easy car to drive.
And you'll be back at Watkins Glen in the Cadillac for Chip Ganassi Racing last week. Hey, I hope this is not the last time we see an IndyCar. Thanks for stopping by. We'll let you make your way to your car.
Good luck, Kev.
Kevin Magnussen is filling in this weekend for Felix Rosenqvist. By the way, feeling well. Hope to see him back really soon. Such a unique crowd here. We're going to continue to get through all the storylines. We're racing at Road America this weekend. IndyCar on NBCSN.
Green, green, green. All right, man, let's go as hard as you can and hold on to the tires.
There we go, Will Power on Ed Jones. That's for the lead of the race.
Good, good. Keep pushing. You're going to be the leader on this strategy.
The Chevrolet Detroit Grand Prix is back underway, and there's a Chevrolet at the front with Will Power.
Turn 9, there's a car in the wall. They're going to red flag it.
You gotta be kidding me. Oh, I need a fan immediately. Fan!
We're coming, we're coming. Go ahead, guys, get on there.
Drivers, recharge your engines.
Oh, boy. Oh, no. It will not fire.
We got to change ECU.
Lead bay. I'm in bay.
They are going around Will Power. Wow. I whacked my ass off today to have this happen.
That is gut-wrenching.
And you can certainly understand Will Power's frustration. The win was there the first half of the doubleheader. Race 2, Joseph Newgarden led 67 of 70. Didn't get it done. By the way, thanks for staying with us on IndyCar Live, presented by Liberty Mutual. Townsend, let's take a look at the starting positions. Looking up for most of Team Penske for today.
I want to know if your shoes are dry after that water bottle exploded at your feet.
Good.
But listen, let's talk about Newgarden and Team Penske. They are doing everything right the last 7 days. They were leading there at Detroit. Things got away from them. Unlucky on pit strategy. A yellow came. Well, yellow didn't come when they thought it was going to come. Here at Road America, they have the best car, I believe, over the long term of a stint. Their back end of the race car is totally locked down. What they have to be careful of is don't be so desperate for a win. Keep the championship in mind, because Newgarden's right there, just about 50 points out of the lead. points race, because you can win another championship. You could win your third. Don't get caught up in the anxiousness of, I have to win.
Well, they are going to be really interesting to watch today. They look really good in race trim as well. So Team Penske is one to watch coming up today. Let's learn more with Dave.
And standing by with Joseph, who's kind of greeting everyone down here. I guess maybe as a former champion, as a pole sitter, that's what you do?
I'm an old man. I've been here a long time. I know everybody, I feel like now, which is strange for me to say. You know, I feel like I'm young, but I've been in the sport now 10 years. Been so lucky to be a part of it. And excited to run today. Love this track. This is a highlight for all of us, and certainly for me. So I think we've got a great car with Team Chevy and Hitachi, and trying to make the most of it. It's going to be an exciting day. Talked about tire degradation all weekend. It's going to be hard to hold on to any tire compound you have. So hopefully we're just better than the rest and can keep it up front.
We are going to mention that, tire deg for short. When you have the 700 horsepower experience at the start of a run and at the end of a run, what's the difference for the viewers at home?
It's, you know, basically if you watched Detroit last weekend, it's like, you know, watching me at the end of the race struggling on the red tires and getting sideways off the corner, and, you know, Pato getting a run. That's what you're dealing with. And so some cars will be better at that than others. You want to be on the good side. You know, you want to be attacking people that aren't very good at looking after their tires. That's what makes it exciting. It's a huge challenge for all of us in this series to, you know, try and tune the cars, engineer them, and make them as best as possible on the tires. And yeah, you're just fighting the thing. It's difficult to drive, but it's a lot of fun. You know, you're hanging on at 180 miles an hour and heading into a corner, and it's pretty daunting.
Your pole here is your third. What makes you comfortable here and fast?
I don't know. I love high-speed tracks. You know, I've always liked places like Barber Motorsports Park, a lot of high-speed corners, high commitment, and that's what you get here in an IndyCar. It really, to me, this place really shows the breadth of the capability of what an IndyCar is all about. It's all about high speed, downforce, getting the most out of big braking zones, high-speed corners like the carousel, and committing. You have to absolutely commit to these race cars to get the most out of them, and I think this is one of the places that demands that.
The champ starts first, shaking hands and kissing babies down here, which is cool because the fans are back, and they may see Newgarden get his first win of the season today, Kevin.
And I think the fans are going to see a good show, and maybe you can see right behind us one of the chief competitors today, the 26 Gainbridge car from Colton Herta. They're going to have to sort it out going into turn one.
They are, and when we get to the straightaway that goes from 3 to 5, the longest straightaway here, keep in mind, I just saw that Colton Herta has no gurney flap on his rear wing. Newgarden has the downforce. He's carrying drag, but also downforce. So I think you're going to see a hard-charging Colton Herta try to make his move right away at the start here.
And remember, there are some fast cars a little further back in the field as well, like Rossi, like Dixon. Oh, I think this is going to get good.
Yeah, for sure. And Alexander Rossi's one that won here in 2019. He feels like he's got a really good race car. Teammates to Colton Herta. He does not have a win this season. In fact, that was his last win in 2019. He is desperate to notch one up in the win column today.
By the way, a special day for a lot of the drivers. Happy Father's Day,
Thank
Townsend. You. And there is a unique group of IndyCar drivers that are dads. Jimmy Johnson has the girls here this weekend like he usually does. Scott Dixon, Poppy, Tilly, and Kits. Romain Grosjean, we can tell from his social media posts, being a dad is really important. We feel like we know Ryan Hunter Ray's kids. Dad on the radio with Colton Herta today with Brian, and the newest dad, well, one of them is Graham Rahal. You're watching IndyCar Live, brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need.
Eight races down, 8 to go in the 2021 NTT IndyCar season. 220 miles of racing coming up from Road America following pre-race ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise and remove your hats as the Town of Sheboygan Fire Department Honor Guard and Wisconsin National Guard Recruiting and Retention Battalion of Plymouth presents our nation's colors. Please remain standing as Chaplain Jason Holt of IndyCar Ministries offers today's invocation.
Father God, thank you so much for the opportunity to gather together and enjoy some racing at such an incredible facility. God, in this moment, we just lift up our brave men and women serving both overseas and within our borders, protecting our freedoms to be able to gather. But God, we lift up our drivers, teams, officials, and fans, that we would have a great, smooth, and a safe day of racing. But most of all, Father, we say thank you for the love and hope available to all at the cross of Jesus Christ, in whose name I pray. Amen.
Here today to honor America with the singing of our national anthem, please welcome Town of Sheboygan firefighter Charles Butler.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Charles, thank you to you and all who come to our rescue. Racing coming up from Road America. They'll start the engines when we come back.
Ready to go at Road America. Oh, hooray!
Dixon is fighting for a win.
He'll have to crash if he wants to pause things now.
Oh, loses control. Oh, Daly is up and into the wall. Into turn 5 for the lead of the race. Oh, twist, bang, bang. Oh, here's a beautiful pass. Oh, boy.
Hard to side bomb me, shove me straight out into the weeds.
Scott Dixon wins 3 in a row. Unbelievable.
That was awesome, man.
Rosenquist is an IndyCar race winner.
Congratulations, race winner.
Yeah, thank you guys.
And that's a little bit of what's in store for you today. From Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, and the REV Group Grand Prix with the NTT IndyCar Series. Time for round 9. We're into the second half of the season. It's the first day of summer. Let's go! The weather is great right now. Temperatures in the mid to upper 70s. And we are clean and green for the next little while. Kevin Lee, Townsend Bell, Dylan Welch, and Dave Burns joining you today on NBCSN. They are gridded up, and I think the storyline we begin with, Townsend, is this championship is very much up for grabs.
Oh, super tight right now. You're looking at Pato O'Ward, who leads by just 1 point over Chip Ganassi's Alex Palou, but you have to respect every year Scott Dixon lurking there in third, just 36 points out. There you see Palou, thumbs up, ready to go. But I really think that Newgarden's the one that has the most to gain today. Sitting 4th in the championship, he's on pole. He looks to have the best race car in terms of the durability of the tires, making them last over a full stint. And I found it pretty interesting. Some of the drivers opting to run additional downforce for this race, like Newgarden. Some others opting to trim out and taking straight line speed as the advantage, namely the number 26 car there, the Gamebridge Honda of Colton Herta.
In IndyCar races, you must run the softer red Firestones for at least 2 laps, a new set of them, and that plays into strategy.
It does. As you see Scott Dixon in the PNC car going with the harder black tire to start,
most drivers, the majority of drivers in the top 10, opting to start on the softer Firestone Red to mix it up, get track position, and probably run their shorter stint early and then finish the last 3 stints on the harder black tire. In fact, the first driver out of the top 10 that'll be on the harder tire is Alexander Rossi and Pato O'Ward.
You know, one driver I don't know we've talked a lot about who's lurking there in the championship, back there in that bright yellow Menards car. I'm wondering if this might be a breakout day for Simon Pagenaud. He looks poised like he might be ready to get something done, and appropriately enough, on his very first Father's Day as a dad.
Yeah, no kidding. Congrats, Simon Pagenaud, on the newborn. But think about Pagenaud in the context of some of these young guns. Pagenaud is the measured one. They call him the professor. He's the patient, studious, measured driver, and I think that could be an advantage today. That sort of approach versus the aggressive, hang it all out there style is probably the one that's going to manage the tires the best, and we do think Team Penske has the advantage on setup. So I think it's Team Penske's day, but I've said that before. They've had some bad luck this season. They haven't gone this winless since 1999.
And that's the last time they had a winless season. Does that end today? For more, let's go down to pit road, and we start with Dylan Welch.
Hey, Kevin, well, somebody who could spoil that potential Penske party is the guy that's starting third. That's Jack Harvey, the Meyer Shank Racing team. They've had a really good weekend so far. Been happy with their race car since the end of practice on Friday. Got a little extra mojo maybe as well in their pit boxes. We're expecting 4-time Indianapolis 500 winner Elio Castroneves to join, of course, who is a Meyer Shank Racing pilot in his select IndyCar starts this year. So good mojo. That may be all it takes for Harvey and this group. Remember, last year they were in the top 5 before a mechanical issue here at Road America sidelined them. So if they can just have some luck on their side today and have everything come together with a smooth day, could be celebrating in victory lane for the 2nd time this year with the Meyer Shank Racing boys and Jack Harvey. Let's go to Dave Burns.
Dylan, what a weekend it's been for 6-time champ Scott Dixon, and not in a good way. There's been all kinds of contact for him on track, and in the very last practice of the weekend, it was supposed to be a calm, placid way to see how your car is right before the start of the race, but it was anything but that. Going down into Canada Corner, he did not see Pato O'Ward coming behind him, and O'Ward had to lock up, nearly wrecked them both. Did make contact. In fact, they had to work on the back end and the underside of Dixon's car, and it wasn't the first time this weekend. Dixon also hit something in the carousel in practice number 1, and they had to repair the underwing of this car. So Scott has to start back in 13th position. Not a lot of speed in qualifying, and he's going to have to find his mojo the way he has so many times before, starting mid-pack today, Kevin.
Exactly, Townsend. He always seems to find a way to salvage something out of it.
Yeah, you know, oftentimes you'll see Dixon surviving what seems to be really high-risk situations because he seems to make the right decision at the right time always, and I think that's been the success to his championship run through the years, is the instincts are always spot on with Dixon. He's got a freakish ability to keep his car out of trouble and in one piece to survive and score those points.
He's won a couple of times here. He is one we will need to keep an eye on today, and some others making their way a little further back. I think Graham Rahal and Takuma Sato always seem to race better than they qualify. Can they get all the way up to the front, though?
Well, one thing's for sure, Sato is always exciting here because he'll make the bold, brave moves down those long, beautiful straightaways here at Road America. They'll be hitting close to 200 miles an hour in a draft with push to pass to help.
I love these pictures we will get of this massive 4-mile facility. Fans are assembled, drivers are strapped in. Let's go trackside. It's about time to fire them up from Road America.
Race fans, it's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Please welcome volunteer firefighter and EMT from West Jefferson, North Carolina, Scott Osborne.
Drivers, start your engines!
There's the music we've been waiting for. 25 fired up. We'll let him go. Coming up in just a moment, IndyCar from Road America. You're watching NBCSN's coverage of IndyCar, brought to you by Honda, an official vehicle of the NTT IndyCar Series. Hy-Vee, proud sponsor of Rahal Letterman Lanigan Racing. Hy-Vee, making lives easier, healthier, and happier. and by NTT, official sponsor and technology partner of the NTT IndyCar Series. Summertime in Wisconsin, IndyCar and Road America. NASCAR will be here in a couple of weeks. Today, when we're done, we go to the Nashville Super Speedway on NBCSN. This is how they line up for the REV Group Grand Prix.
Two of the most talented Americans in the world of motorsport, Newgarden and Herta, will be side by side to kick things off. But looking back there, you got Pato O'Ward and Rossi also side by side. That should be exciting. Looking further down through the grid, how about Sato and Hinchcliffe, two drivers looking to make things happen today? That should be pretty cool. And then towards the back, Jimmy Johnson actually improving steadily in his IndyCar career, showing pretty well so far at Road America. Wouldn't surprise me to see him really dicing it up for the first time today.
Let's find out what drivers they're dealing with today with our Honda track preview. And we can go on board with Takuma Sato.
Yeah, Sato climbs the hill, highest elevation here at Road America on the front straightaway. In another lap, he'll be trucking close to 200 miles an hour with a wicked big draft. About 18 cars in front of Sato, sucking him down the front straightaway into turn one. Turn one, down 3 gears. It's a short brake zone minimum speed, about 100 miles an hour through that corner. I expect we'll see 2 or 3 wide as they come to this brake zone. This track, not that wide, but it allows, especially at the start when the track is clean, drivers to run side by side, and then a big runoff there at the exit. So a really cool track. It demands aggressive, big commitment driving, and we're thanks to Honda for showing us around.
And that leads us to our GMR track facts. 4 miles, 14 turns. Today's event, 55 laps. As far as strategy is concerned,
going to start on one of 2 compounds, and you have to run one of each at some point in the race. All indications suggest that this is a black race, meaning the drivers and the teams are going to want to run the black compound for 3 of their 4 stints and the red tire for just 1. Top 8 cars are all starting on the softer red tire so that they can have the advantage in terms of track position and then get those off the slate and be able to run black tires all the way to the end.
So one of the storylines today is Kevin Magnussen making his IndyCar debut. Yes, he drove almost a decade in Formula One and finished as high as 2nd, but let's listen in as he prepares for something entirely new.
Just head to the front and have some fun, man. I think you're really going to enjoy racing out here. Obviously, you can be quite a bit more aggressive than some of the places you came from, and I think it should be a blast for you. What's you, man?
It was good to catch up with Kevin as he walked way down the grid today.
Super chill reaction from the Dane there, but he doesn't have to get this driver more aggressive. Through the years of F1, I don't think anybody took bigger chances than Kevin Magnussen, and oftentimes it paid off.
He's one of 5 racing here for the first time in anything. Up front, you've got championship contenders. Joseph Newgarden looking to break through for his first win. Colton Herta trying to vault back in the championship. Jack Harvey, can he become the 5th first-time winner? He starts in that pink and black car on the 2nd row, right to the inside of Will Power, who has also not won this year. Up the hill they go. Ready, set, and here we go from Road America. Joseph Newgarden controls the field. He's on it. Jack Harvey trying to get to his inside. Herta looking for position on the outside. Power trying to find space. They draft. Harvey looking to go the long way around the outside into turn 1.
Harvey trying to stay there. Elbows are out there 2x2 all the way through. Looking back, Simon Pagino there in the yellow Menards car got wide. That allowed Alexander Rossi in another pink and black Auto Nation car to make a move. They come out of turn 3 and down the straightaway to the biggest brake zone, and that was Sato, I believe, getting off in the dirt.
They'll sort out after turn 5, but not before turn 5. Passing zone. Power looking for 3rd. Around the outside, Colton Herta, he got it done. Herta locks him up a little bit. He'll hang on to it. Rossi trying to go around the outside, fighting side by side with Grosjean up the hill.
This is Colton Herta trying to pay the favor back to Will Power. Will Power decisively cut across the bow of Colton Herta, and Herta did not appreciate it. He forces Power off the track.
Herta says, not right now. Rossi Still working on Grosjean. Side by side where you can't really do it. Is Rossi going to lose spots? Kicking up dirt. He loses the position. Ryan Hunter-Reay trying to pounce back there. And that yellow VHL car. And Rossi is wiggly.
Rossi almost loses it there. And how about Roman Grosjean?
Wheel 3 when you can. Wheel 3 when you can.
Absolutely sending a message to Rossi. You're not going to muscle me around.
How do you like that for the first 3/4 of the first lap? Joseph Newgarden is quite fine with everyone fighting behind him. He scoots out in front, Herta in second, Harvey in third, then Power, and that's where it is all starting. And then someone ran wide there in the back.
I believe that was Sebastian Bourdais. Somebody getting wide, somebody got muscled off in Canada corner. All kinds of action, but no major contact. Dramatic but clean racing to start things off. They'll come to finish lap 1. Newgarden with a pretty nice lead there over Harvey as things settle in.
Look how bunched up they were in the back. Alex Palou with a really nice start. He settles in fourth right now. There's Scott Dixon, 6-time champion. One more equals A.J. Foyt for the most ever, and he's never won back-to-back titles. He's third in points coming into today with a little bit of work to do to catch up to the youngsters. Max Chilton the inside of James Hinchcliffe in the orange Genesis car. Chilton in that blue car.
You're seeing all kinds of slicing and dicing because everybody's starting on new tires, whether they're blacks or reds. This is when the tire has peak grip, and it's a great opportunity to make a move. You've seen several examples there, though, where it didn't pay off. Somebody got too aggressive. Somebody got side-by-side, got muscled off. Look at that. How about Scott Dixon pushing Ed Jones in the Sealmaster car over and off in the brake zone?
Ed Jones went by him. Dixon said, nope, not right now. He came back.
Settle back up. Nice job.
Out early here in Road America.
I mean, this is like a supercross race at the start, the way these guys are banging into each other. But the Indy cars are tough, the drivers are tougher, and they're loving it.
Keeping an eye on Scott Dixon, who has had some challenges this weekend. Started in 13th. He has managed to pick up a couple of spots.
There's Alexander Rossi, who survived the first lap. Lots of excitement on board with him now. And now he's got Pato O'Ward charging hard just behind him. Hey, Dave, what you got?
And Townsend, as you can see, he's running the primary tire on the AutoNation car. That means it's a little bit harder than the alternate tire, and so going through the carousel, the early laps making rights and left, he probably didn't have as much grip as the tires come up to temp as some of his other rivals, like Grosjean. He's on the alternates.
Yeah, Rossi on the black. Good point, Dave. Also Pato O'Ward just behind, so those two are level set. Equal situation, but it looks right now like Pato O'Ward's on the charge. Push to pass should be active this lap, so we'll have to see who gets on the button for additional power down the straightaway. Watch O'Ward. Does he go with his thumb? Looks like it. O'Ward's on the button. Rossi also using push to pass to defend.
And you heard Taylor Kyle saying if you can get him, you can use the fuel. Simon Pagenaud is looking to go around. He dropped 4 spots at the start of the race, trying to get one back. Side by side through 5, trying to hang on the outside. They touch. Pato O'Ward maintains the position.
Pato O'Ward just moved over Pagenaud enough on that exit curve where it gets really bumpy and difficult to get the power down as the rear is kind of hopping and skipping over that exit curve. Somebody went off there in turn 7, dropped the wheel and picked up some dust, but everybody continues.
Incident has been reviewed and adjudicated between Takuma Sato and Connor Daly, and I'm told Sato is going to have to give up a spot.
So what's going on?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Sato totally door slams Connor Daly over there in Canada corner. Oh boy.
When we were guessing early who went wide, Connor went wide. Marcus Ericsson, the red and white Husky chocolate car, got the spot on Sato. The penalty has been served for avoidable contact for Takuma Sato, but it's just simply giving up the position. But there's more issues for Sato. He's got damage on the left side pod. Does Daly have anything wrong?
Yeah, that's pretty big contact to the side pod. That's going to negate the downforce that those pods help produce. It's really going to hurt Sato's pace, especially downforce at the rear of the car, when the story today is about making the rear tires last. So that's going to affect Sato's degradation. I would expect that if that thing doesn't come off, it's still going to be a handful making it to lap, we think probably lap 12, 13, 14 to make your first pit stop on Reds.
And those, like Rossi, that started on the primaries can go likely a couple of laps longer. So there may be some strategy in play. There's Rossi back there, still trying to hold up Pato O'Ward. Rossi, the Auto Nation pink and black car, orange and black arrow for Arrow McLaren SP, and then Simon Pagenaud trying to get by him one more time. They've been duking it out here early.
Same situation a lap later in the right front of Simon Pagenaud. It looks like he's running a Firestone block by accident, but that's because he's had contact. It's absolutely smoked the red stripe on that right front as Pagenaud's on the reds, O'Ward on the blacks, and O'Ward's defending. Dylan?
And he just got instruction, Pagenaud did, from Kyle Moyer, his strategist. He said, go up here and get by these guys that are on the black. So that's Rossi and O'Ward. So that's very important to them early. They want to take advantage of those reds before they do fall off. They're kind of playing two races today. They obviously want a good result for themselves, but at the start of this race, they had Pato behind them. And in the points, they wanted to try to close that gap down to about 40 or so, leaving this race to feel comfortable about their position in the standings. And obviously, they lost that spot to Pato. So important in a couple of different reasons for them to get back in front of him here in the early going.
Thanks, Dylan. Just watching the Firestone telemetry there, lower left. Going down to Canada corner, Pagenaud was on his way to 200 miles an hour and throttled out of it as O'Ward blocked. Let's see what kind of straight line speed Pagenaud can get here. Oh, it looks like our telemetry froze. There's no way he flatlined at 140 miles an hour as Colton Herta getting passed by Palou there.
Into third for Alex Palou, who was brilliant here last year as a rookie for Dale Coyne Racing with Team Go. That had to have a lot to do with him getting hired by Chip Ganassi Racing. A podium last year, Palou in podium position, but we are just getting started. It's Joseph Newgarden leading the way, IndyCar and Road America. Nothing has changed up front from the start of this race at the REV Group Grand Prix at Road America, with Joseph Newgarden leading from pole, but plenty has been happening right behind Newgarden. Many storylines going through this field, and we'll continue to follow them. Also, remind you of the winner of Carvana's latest drive of the vote contest. This is the livery that Jimmy Johnson will race in Mid-Ohio coming up in 2 weeks. A special one for the 4th of July weekend. It features 145 patch submissions for the design, including members of both American Legion and Carvana Carvettes. Jimmy Johnson continues to improve. At the final practice yesterday, he was 14th after running really strong laps in race 2 at Detroit last weekend.
Yeah, right now he's hanging on to the tail end of the pack with Connor Daly, Sato, Magnussen, Hinchcliffe up front. Sato there with the damaged car as Hinchcliffe makes a move, or at least looks to the inside of Kevin Magnussen and has to back out. Look what happened to Magnussen just a little while ago. Top of the screen, Marcus Ericsson actually gets off track. Kevin Magnussen further back, also following Ericsson's lead. That is a big off.
Let's
really
take
a look on board.
All right, but that's all right. Just get your head down and settle back in. Let's go get him.
Well, if that's what head down and settle back in looks like, I think we're going to have to find different language for the spotter down there to use to encourage his driver. Magnussen lucky to escape with seemingly no damage.
Dylan.
And guys, just kind of going back again to something that we talked about yesterday, one of the toughest challenges in this transition for him is just being comfortable pushing the car and finding the limits. You know, a lot of the tracks that he's used to running on, they've got the runoff area where if you go over the limits, you're not necessarily in the grass or in the dirt. So that's all just part of the learning process, and especially now under race conditions. You can practice and qualify and everything else all you want, but when you're actually out here racing, obviously things are a lot different. So it's going to be a learning day for them. They know that. They expect that. But again, as we've said, just lap over lap improvement going to be the biggest thing for him today. And he's already moved up a few spots there before that off, so going good so far.
I think it'd be a good way to judge Kevin Magnussen at the end of the day. Where does he stand at that point? Meanwhile, up front, Joseph Newgarden has started to gap a little bit, and the race is for second. Alex Palou in the blue ETT data car chasing the pink and black Auto Nation Meyer-Shank Racing car. Yes, we know Meyer-Shank Racing won the Indianapolis 500 with Elio Castroneves, but Jack Harvey gets a lot of the credit for that. He's led the development of this team in their second full-time season, and he's had a lot of misfortune over the last couple of years where he maybe coulda, shoulda won races.
Something I'm keeping an eye on right now, Kevin, is last lap time completed for all these guys on reds. The first black drivers on tires, black tires, are Rossi and O'Ward there. And I'm watching the lap times because we're approaching the crossover of when the red tires should start to really stop yielding ultimate performance and fall off. Newgarden's been really good at managing tire wear, so we've been watching those lap times carefully. Dylan?
Yeah, this is going to be where it's interesting, Townsend, especially for Harvey, because they were pretty adamant. We are not very good on the red. So one thing that was encouraging, though, talking with Mike Shank, who of course is the co-owner and strategist for this car, before the race he said, we just got to get through turns 1 and turn 3 without getting run into, and I think we're going to have a good day. So they did that, and then obviously made a pass from inside of row number 2 to take over the second spot. So just going to be about conserving right now, holding on to this track position they have, and they'll have themselves set up for potentially a good day, Dave.
Of course, Joseph Newgarden with the best track position. Now let's remember how he got there. In qualifying, in the final round, strategist Tim Cindric and the engineers went to work with a strategy that no one else tried. That was to use the Black Firestone primary tire to send Joseph to the top of the grid and the pole position. He needed one more thing, though, other than that choice, and that was buy-in from the driver. He talked with Joseph about whether or not he could get that little bit extra on the harder tire during qualifying. Joseph said yes, they did it. They snookered him, if you will, Townsend, but they got that pole position they so desperately wanted.
Yeah, I mean, bold move to secure pole position, but they have the car to do it right now. Newgarden demonstrating lap 9 complete that there doesn't appear to be any fall off on his car as Harvey and Palou fall further back, but this is something Newgarden's got to be careful of. We saw this in practice. Look at the left side tires almost falling off the edge of the racetrack. He probably doesn't need to put it all on the line at this point and take that kind of chance. That was pretty close to sending it in the grass.
Joseph Newgarden now up by 3 seconds, but the first round of pit stops is coming up. You won't miss anything on Nonstop with NBCSN. Today's wonderful aerial coverage is brought to you by Geico, and we've been able to follow Romain Grosjean working on Colton Herta for 5th. Herta has dropped another position. Started 2nd, now running 5th, trying to hang on to it. Final laps before pit stops are coming up with Joseph Newgarden leading here at Road America. And earlier we mentioned Carvana's Drive the Vote contest. Well, the next round is now live, so head to Carvana.com/vote to choose what livery Jimmy Johnson drives on the streets of Nashville. Coming up in August, a big summer for Nashville in motorsports. Cup today at the Nashville Superspeedway, and then in Music City for the debut of the Music City Grand Prix IndyCar weekend coming up in August. Here's Grosjean taking another look at Colton Herta in that black and yellow Gamebridge car.
Colton gets wide. That's going to allow Grosjean to get a run. You can tell Herta really struggling now with the reds as Grosjean makes the move, going up the hill in the brake zone for turn 6. Kevin, Grosjean is on a really good pace. Things are looking strong for this rookie driver.
He was disappointed yesterday, qualifying 7th. That shows the progress he's made. Just because you ran up front in Formula 1 doesn't mean it's immediately going to transfer to IndyCar. It takes a while. It took Grosjean about 2 weekends before he was competitive.
So lap 11, the leader's working right now. I expect lap 12, lap 13 is when you're going to see these red-tired cars that are struggling on pace to pit. Up front, Joseph Newgarden doesn't appear to have any issue whatsoever. A 5.4-second lead on the Reds. I would expect Team Penske to keep him out and make sure they don't have to save any fuel if they don't need to when they go to the black tires. Newgarden, super strong.
He finally started dropping some time. Newgarden did back-to-back identical laps at a minute 49.21. The last one, 0.7 of a second slower. So maybe we're seeing, that's still, by the way, quicker than what everybody else is doing, but maybe we're starting to see the end of the life on the softer red tires. Dylan.
Willpower is in. They will take the red tires off, put scuffed blacks on. So they'll said the car's pretty good. Just routine service, so what we can do now is the carbon compound black tires on.
And to hold it for just a moment, dealing with traffic, and then weaving his way around Ed Jones coming in the Sealmaster car. The Gamebridge car, Colton Herta is in, Dave. Grosjean from 8th, Herta from 9th, and you look behind, that's all about 21 of Askew coming in.
For Herta's sake, he was not as good on the reds. You saw Grosjean get by him also on the reds, so a little bit of an adjustment there for him, now on equal tires again.
Let's watch this cold tire battle. Grosjean
tires right now on cold primary Firestones.
Pato O'Ward now on sticker reds. Remember, he started the race on the harder black tire and now has to run the softer red tire.
I think Pato O'Ward might be in a little bit of trouble on the primaries. You would think you need to go all the way to lap 14.
Absolutely.
He's got to make these reds last 14 laps or so.
And the team's been telling me all weekend that they really struggled to keep the tires under them over a stint, whether it's reds or blacks. So to your point, Kevin, this is going to be a handful as Pato O'Ward, in order to make this in 2 more stops, is probably going to have to put 15 laps, 16 laps on these reds.
By the way, through all this, will some come in because the tires are out of life? Joseph Newgarden is still on track. He just passed pit entry, and he's still running a minute 49, 8 laps. Newgarden is in charge. Dylan, what do you see?
Well, here comes Jack Harvey from the second spot. Been having a good day so far. They'll get those red tires off. A 4 set of sticker blacks, sticker Firestones awaiting Jack Harvey. They'll wait on the fuel as well. Tires going on. Nice and smooth stop for a smooth day. He had to wait for Hunter Ray to come across his nose, who pulls in right in front of him. That'll cost him a little time.
Harvey slow getting away there. Wasn't up on the revs as Harvey comes back out. There goes Kevin Magnussen, who hasn't pitted yet. There's Jimmy Johnson looking for other cars that have pitted that might be coming down the front straightaway with Jack Harvey, and here it is. Watch this blend. Will Power, Jack Harvey going to battle it out going to turn 3.
Power's going to have a run on him coming to turn number 5.
Push the pass.
Remember, Harvey was running second before the pit stop sequence began. Newgarden is still on track. He's in the carousel right now, and he is in what we call the danger zone. If a caution comes out, Newgarden would filter to the back. So how long do you stay out? Meanwhile, Power going around the outside. His tires are up to temperature, trying to make it stick on Jack Harvey. Job done.
No chance for Harvey in the brake zone with the tires still cold. Power makes the move, effectively putting himself back into second place, or up to second place, once Newgarden, below some of these drivers cycle through their pit stops.
Rossi, Dixon, Rahal, Magnussen, Johnson have not stopped yet.
Newgarden's last lap still a 49.8. That's still about a second faster than anybody else on that same strategy.
Joseph Newgarden coming down pit road right now, the native of Nashville, Tennessee. What a weekend for Nashville, seeing this guy on the pole. He'll come in now and get the 2-car service. The only issue so far for Joseph Newgarden was the fact that when he went down the hill to turn 8 about 3 laps ago, it was stuck in 3rd gear for a moment. It did not repeat itself. On the pit box, they said, we don't see anything nefarious, and so Joseph rode on. Primary black Firestone tires on the 2 now.
2 cranks of front wing coming out of the 2-car of Joseph Newgarden as Alexander Rossi pits. Dave, you're there.
He is in. Rob Edwards told me this morning we may try to overcut just a little bit. They did not, at least to the leader, hitting the same lap as Newgarden.
Overcut.
And red's on the car now, Townsend.
Staying out a little bit longer, overcut, meaning maybe you can find some clean track. Pick up some ground there, and I think Rossi might have picked up maybe a split or so.
Hunter Ray, Alexander Rossi, teammate, pitted on lap 13. Hunter Ray's going to have a run. Does Rossi block? He does. They might touch here. No, 27 and 28 Andretti cars. And there you see once again cold tires versus hot tires. I thought that might be our first caution of the day. Both those drivers need a result. Pato O'Ward now making a move on Rossi.
Pato O'Ward has the preferred inside line. Rossi's not quite ready to give it up. He'll try to hang around the outside. This could get interesting. O'Ward clear through.
O'Ward made that move on Simon Pagenaud, who looks in the background. Pagenaud's like, I saw him do that to me a couple laps earlier, pushing Rossi a little bit wide onto the exit curve, making Rossi really struggle to get acceleration. And Pato O'Ward has seen drama moments ago as Hunter Ray was coming out of the pits. Watch this. Big old slide at turn 1 in the apex.
So what are you expecting from Hunter Ray, the driver coming out of the pits there?
Exactly what he did. Take away the apex, take away the position, keep O'Ward guessing. O'Ward had to check up. And Dave, here comes Palou from the lead.
A very good race car right now, asking for no changes from this Chip Ganassi Racing crew. Remember, this was the one that won the race last year with Felix Rosenquist. They'll go to the black primary Firestone tires.
And there comes Joseph Newgarden, the effective leader of the race. So Newgarden gets out in front of Palou. Here comes the rest of the crowd up front.
That's Will Power, hot tires, up to speed. Not as close as he was on the last pit out battle. But I think Power should have a chance to close by the time they get to the exit at turn 5, maybe to the back straightaway. But by then, Alex Palou will have tire temperature.
Now, meanwhile, Scott Dixon is still out. How will this help him? Will it help him by going longer than everyone else? Pagano on board with him. Ed Jones mussing their way around this course.
Ed Jones super aggressive. Looking much stronger on black tires than he was on red, but Pagano should be able to make a move to the inside, but no. Jones takes that away. Pagano goes to the outside.
Trying to hang on through turn 5 now, going back up the hill. Jones prevails. He's faster than me on the straights, is that what he said?
He says, I can't believe it.
That's Honda versus Chevy right there. Jones in the Honda, in the yellow and black Sealmaster car.
It's tough to tell from this distance, but he's looking to see if perhaps Pagano was carrying a gurney flap on his rear wing, and maybe Ed Jones wasn't. Here comes Scott Dixon, 15 laps complete on the harder black tire, and he'll come to pit lane with just a 14-second lead on Newgarden. So he'll drop way down, Dave, but so far things are playing out as planned for the 9 team on tire strategy.
Well, and part of the idea may be, Townsend, to go a shorter stint on these reds that everyone else had to. We'll see how it plays out for them, but what a weekend it's been for them. Crazy, repairing this 9 car 2 different times, where Blair Julian, the chief mechanic, and the rest of the 9 crew, after contact with objects and other cars on track. Scott ultimately starting the day 13th. He cycled to the lead here at Road America. He'll work his way back in as Newgarden has cycled back to the front here at Road America. 220 miles, the full distance. We'll see who gets to the checkers first later. Whoa, look at that.
We're now under caution at Road America at the REV Group Grand Prix. First round of pit stops done. So no one significantly impacted by this caution. Joseph Newgarden is still in front, but that big gap has gone away because of what happened with Jimmy Johnson, exit of turn 7.
Watch the left-hand side there as Jimmy Johnson comes into frame, just gets wide in the grass, loses the back end of the car, knocks down a WeatherTech sign. Let's go on board. Just listen.
Game of inches, 6 inches or so.
This is an important lesson for Jimmy Johnson. When in doubt, both feet out. He never lifted off the throttle. He got your left rear in the grass. He stayed wide open. And with over 700 horsepower, it just spun up on him and turned him around. So this is the part of the learning process that Jimmy's got to fix. He's had 4 of these now, I think in 5 road course races where he's spinning in the race. And it's just, you know, it's a brutal lesson. He had good pace going. He was kind of hanging on to the tail end of the pack. But he'll continue to learn the ropes of IndyCar.
The caution for Jimmy Johnson was what the field was asking for. The 6.5-second lead from Joseph Newgarden, a race ready to start again from the REV Group Grand Prix at Road America. Back up the hill in this 55-lap race. Newgarden leading now. Alex Palou back to the green flag. Will Power, Jack Harvey chasing them. Colton Herta ducking to the inside. Side by side back there for position with the purple car of Grosjean. And Grosjean gets that spot.
This is the last thing Joseph Newgarden wanted. He has this race under control on pace. Palou had a shot on the front straightaway. We'll see what happens when they exit turn 3.
Clean through 3. Single file. Palou started 5th. He's up to 2nd. He's one of the bigger movers. Further back, Marcus Ericsson has picked up 5 spots since the start, and Cody Ware making his IndyCar debut. He's been driving in NASCAR +4, and now Pato O'Ward nearly into the back, maybe even into the back of Colton Herta. He's going to lose a spot to Hunter
Watch
Ray.
this. happens. Watch Rossi and O'Ward try to muscle it out. Rossi wins the battle. O'Ward backs off. He knows he has dirt on his tires from running wide. He's got to settle back in. Meanwhile, Scott Dixon ready to pounce in the orange and blue 9 car.
Let's see what happened again. On board.
Hunter Ray's going to defend to the inside. Take the brake zone up the inside. O'Ward says, all right, that's fine. I'll go wide. And he got his right front on the curb. It is super bumpy. I've done that before. And it shatters the front end so much that you just go sliding off the track. So Hunter Ray knows that. He knew exactly where to position his car to take away any opportunity for Pato O'Ward. Smart heads-up driving from Hunter Ray, and O'Ward kind of got sucked in by the veteran to make that mistake.
And I don't think O'Ward made contact with Colton Herta. Just locking him up there through turn 5. Going to be pretty difficult to get back-to-back wins for Pato O'Ward, the only driver this season in IndyCar that's won multiple times. He's the championship leader by 1 on Alex Palou coming into the day, but that can flip. Palou runs second in this race. There he is, chasing down the Hitachi Chevy of Joseph Newgarden. Palou in the blue car in second, and then Will Power in third.
And nobody went further on the first pit stop than Alex Palou on the red tires. Why is that important? Because that means Palou is doing a great job taking care of the rubber. Dave, you've got a report here as 2 drivers go side by side. That's Graham Rahal on Pagano in turn 3. Dave, what's going on with Newgarden?
Oh, nearly an off there too, Townsend. That's good news for Rahal, who was struggling earlier. As for Newgarden being chased by Palou, we mentioned earlier possible gearbox problems. This is the radio transmission prior to the first round of pit stops.
We just got like stuck in third gear going down into turn 8.
Real bad. It's emergency mode and manual blips. Only if it gets bad.
Just let me know if you see an issue with it or not.
I did check with Tim Cindric as to if they had seen an issue from the pit box. He told me no, it was a one-time occurrence, and so for now, the 2 car, no problems with the gearbox and staying out ahead.
Yeah, so Joseph Newgarden wondering if they see anything, let him know, because then he has to go to emergency mode. What that means is you have to manually flip the throttle on the downshifts and manually lift off the throttle on the upshifts. Normally, that's all automated. I mean, it's auto blip, and you can shift upshift without lifting off the throttle. It'd be a big disadvantage if Newgarden has to go old school style. That undoubtedly will shave some lap time off the 2.
More dust getting kicked up. Everyone explores every inch of the racetrack available to try to create the best radius, the shortest path from corner to corner. Back on the main straightaway, up this hill, which looks pretty steep visually on television. Try running up that one. It's really steep.
We've done it.
I have made it. I have. And so is the run from turn 5 to turn 6 as well. Not from Indiana. It's pretty flat there.
That's Scotty McLaughlin in the number 3 PPG Penske car trying to block Oliver Askew in the blue and white direct supply car. Askew showing up on short notice to replace the injured Ritas VK. Had a cycling accident VK did earlier this week, broke his collarbone, and now Scotty McLaughlin's got to deal with Askew's teammate Connor Daly going down.
Wheel frame, Pagano's struggling a little bit, we think.
Now McLaughlin going to try to come back side by side. Oh. Can they get through together? They touch. McLaughlin has the inside position. Connor Daly's going to have to concede.
How many times are we going to see that move today? Elbows out in turn 5, pushing the overtaking driver wide at the exit. It seems to work well every time.
By the way, update on Sebastian Bourdais. They had some mechanical issues, and he had to come into the pits for unscheduled service, so he's running at the back now. He is back out on track, but way behind the pack. That's 3rd, 4th, 5th, and beyond. And the Auto Nation on board with Ryan Hunter-Reay.
Hunter-Reay having a really nice day. The pace looks strong. In front of him, his teammate Colton Herta seems to really be struggling. He's been sideways all over the place. 2 corners in a row that Colton Herta's dropped tires. I think Hunter-Reay's going to have a shot here. I wonder if Hunter-Reay is carrying extra downforce that we showed Colton Herta didn't have at the start of this race.
Herta up ahead in 6, teammates with Andretti Autosports.
Oh boy, here comes Rossi. So 3 Andretti cars battling it out side by side. Rossi and Hunter Ray.
Not there. But Rossi is going to be ready to get on his giddy up. And remember, he's on the softer compound to the inside of Hunter Ray. They've been mixing it up throughout the day.
And these two drivers desperate for a good result this season. Now Rossi is going to snake his way down the straightaway, try to break the draft. Where does he try to push Hunter Ray to the outside? Look at Rossi, did the exact same thing that Hunter Ray did to Pato O'Ward just a couple laps ago. Pushed him wide onto that curve. Off the track. And then Hunter Ray said, hey, I got pushed off track.
Oh, it's still getting good here, not even to the halfway point. You won't miss anything. Non-stop from Road America. You're watching NBCSN's coverage of IndyCar, brought to you by Shield Cleansers, a full line of safe but powerful disinfectants and cleansers. Responsible safety from Shield. Liberty Mutual Insurance, only pay for what you need. And by Carvana, driven to make winners out of our customers. Beautiful shots, brought to you by Geico with our aerial coverage. You saw it on nonstop. We're under caution for the second time with the REV Group Grand Prix from Road America. Kevin Lee, Townsend Bell, Dylan Welch, and Dave Burns today ahead of NASCAR from Nashville coming up. But let's see what happened, what put us under the caution here. Watch the 8 Husky chocolate car of Marcus Ericsson.
Down here in turn 3. Exit looks fine. Oh, big old tank slapper, kind of a high side kicker there. Goes backwards, going to clip maybe a Sargento banner here. Must have just stalled the motor. On board with Graham Rahal, that's Ericsson just ahead.
A lot of people are going to pit. We're going to stay out here. We're going to get a lot of track position here. Let's get packed up, but then we need to save as much as we can here.
And we are going to see differing strategies come into play.
That's a surprise.
Kind of a gray area here, obviously, for Billy Vincent and Kevin Magnussen. You think everybody's going to want to pit?
Yeah. For Magnussen, I guess they feel like they really don't have a shot to make much magic happen, so they're going to take the track position. But remember, you're going to lose 36, 37 seconds when he does have to stop if it happens during a green flag. But I like the strategy, I guess, mixing it up, roll the dice a little bit, and see if you can make a little magic happen.
Now here's another consideration I would have for someone still coming to grips with driving a car without power steering. It's a new circumstance. Do you really want someone that's just trying to kind of learn and score points today to be at the front of the field with a bunch of these angry drivers coming through?
Well, if they can make it work somehow, get lucky with some yellows perhaps to maybe stretch things out, but I just can't see the math where I'm sitting on how that works out. Unless there's a little rain coming in the distance that maybe Billy Vincent sees on the radar. Haven't talked about that yet.
Some teams, when we were down on the grid, were telling you they think it's coming before this race is over, yes?
I've heard the same. I've heard some people in the NBC compound projecting a little bit of rain coming, so we'll have to see how that plays out. One thing's for sure, there's no sun in the sky right now, Kevin, as we look around, and those pictures starting to look a little darker.
It was perfect blue skies this morning and sunshine. It's still a very nice, comfortable day, but sunshine not peeking through. We're good for the next little while, but in the Midwest, I'm not sure we can predict beyond a couple of hours. So it's coming. It's just a matter of when. We might be done. We might not.
Yeah, you look at some of those blobs coming out of the southwest as everybody comes to pit lane, and man, Newgarden has had the race pace under control, and this is really where things can get challenging. A race on pit road, Dylan.
And everybody laid out, so these cars are going to have to kind of go around other teams that are laid out, which can affect the angle of entry and can throw everything off kilter if you're not careful. Will Power from third hits his marks perfectly. Really happy with this race car. They've tuned on it all weekend, gotten it better each session. Sticker Black's going on, and Will Power is down and away, Dave.
Second place, Alex Palou in the blue and white 10. Chip Ganassi Racing going against Team Penske in this number 2. Joseph Newgarden car, short fill, 4 tires gone. Is Newgarden, here comes Palou. What a great stop by Team Penske.
Oh, Team Penske getting it done for Newgarden. Look at Colton Herta. How's he going to blend out? There's a wall there.
Oh,
that was dicey. Colton Herta comes out between this 27 teammate and the 60 of Jack Harvey, sort of a sister teammate with the Meyer Shank program, but that was dicey for Colton Herta.
so Magnussen and Sato stayed out. Newgarden is again the effective leader of the race. They should be able to get home from here. A massive fuel save is needed, I don't think. But let's go back to this pit exit here a moment ago. This is Graham Rahal's on board. Let's watch him exit.
That doesn't help you much when it's just busy, busy, busy. Now watch Colton Herta. He's trying to squeeze his way as the concrete barrier juts out there. And Graham Rahal and Ryan Hunter-Reay just negotiated it. Look at Colton Herta going 3 wide, 2 wide here. Now look at this. Excuse me, pardon me, excuse me, excuse me.
And luckily, Rossi gave him a little bit of room, his teammate.
I think that was Jack Harvey, actually, in the second Auto Nation car, kindly allowing Colton Herta to squeeze his way out.
And we saw a little rubbing back there as well. All right, we just heard Billy Vincent talking strategy with Kevin Magnussen. Let's go back to the spy cam we have set up with Arrow McLaren SP, and this was right before the pit stops, the conversation.
Pretty much everybody's going to stop right now, and they're going to have to do huge fuel savings to do it on one more stop. We're going to stay out here, cycle to the front, and we're just going to max push. And we're going to have to do one more stop than them, but we're just going to max push and see what comes out of it.
I like it. Try something bold. And so Billy Vincent thinks that it's going to be big fuel save. You can go
your first IndyCar restart here as a leader. All start finish, turn 14. That's your zone. You choose when you want to go here.
I mean, Alex Palou did 15 laps at the start of this race with 2 pace laps. Didn't seem to have much of a problem. So I don't think these cats at the front need to save much gas, but they're rolling the dice with Magnussen. Why not take a chance? He's on used reds. It should be interesting to see how he can hold off the field of veterans.
And we've got a lap car in there as well. Sebastian Bourdais second in line, not second in the race. It's Magnussen, Sato, Newgarden a little further back in the field as they go back up the hill. Green flag after caution, number 2 in Road America. Formula One veteran Kevin Magnussen, fresh off his first IMSA win for Chip Ganassi Racing last weekend, lead them into 1. Further back, it's Palou. Newgarden effectively for the lead of the race, tangling.
And Newgarden and Palou have to deal with Jimmy Johnson, Sato, and Bourdais as Palou making his move now. He thinks his advantage comes early. Newgarden probably stronger later in the stint. Palou's going to have a run down to turn 3.
Newgarden beat him out of the pits. Palou is on the attack to the outside. Right behind him, Rossi is popping on power. Side by side into 5. Newgarden on the inside. Palou trying to hang around the outside. Power also prevails over Rossi.
And then Colton Herta's going to have a look. He ducks back in. So this is the effective battle for the top 5 on the lead strategy. More action further back.
Orange and blue PNC Bank car. That's Scott Dixon, 3rd in the championship. Looking to win back-to-back titles for the first time in his illustrious career. Trying to score points today, back there in 13th.
Oh, it's got to be difficult for Newgarden, who's just been breezing at the lead, comfortably on pace, and now he's all mixed up in this battle with Palou, and now trying to deal with the lap car of Jimmy Johnson. Newgarden got around Palou again there somehow.
And Bourdais, second in line on the restart, has been relatively quick. And what Bourdais is thinking in that rock and black AJ Foyt racing car is, I want to get my lap back. If I can somehow get in front of Kevin Magnussen, which is reasonable to think, caution comes out, I'm back in the game.
Look at Palou right there on Newgarden, and Alexander Rossi and Will Power mixing it up. That was really close to contact. Watch this run. Colton Herta trying to send it on Rossi down the front straightaway.
And a lot of desperate drivers that haven't won yet. We're into the second half of the season. Herta has won. He's going to pop to the inside of his teammate Rossi. Is he close enough?
Oh,
no! Lap traffic involved there. Was that Jimmy Johnson that was in the way?
They went 3 wide. Colton Herta had a little help in the draft from Will Power further up, but just awesome competition. Jimmy Johnson trying to stay wide there.
And drivers have talked about how courteous Jimmy is, understanding his limitations, not impacting the competition, and he did all he could, and ultimately did get it done because they got through. As Herta looks to the outside again on Will Power. Rossi right there on his tail. Jack Harvey is the other pink and black car right behind Rossi.
And Graham Rahal, I'll tell you what, turn 5 is just ruthless today. If you have the inside line, the deal is you just drive the other guy wide onto the bumps and they have no chance. Rahal putting the muscle to Hunter Ray there.
Power right there back in 5th. Might be 3rd because the top 2 are way off strategy from the others.
Starts and restarts have just been wild today. I just can't believe how little car-to-car damage we've seen. It's been so tight wheel-to-wheel racing.
Dallara
Brilliant
a
stuff.
robust race car. Look at this a moment ago.
On board with Hunter Ray. You're going to see Graham Rahal come from the back, make a move on Jimmy Johnson, and watch Graham, boom, going deep on the brakes. That was awesome.
On board Simon Pagenaud in the Menards car. What do we got coming up? Marcus Ericsson to the inside. Bang!
That's at least the second time that Pagenaud's been muscled off. You can see him put his left hand up like, come on, man.
Saw Oliver Askew get by the direct supply car. Filling in for Renus VK. Graham Rahal picking up a spot on Pato Award. Graham Rahal has been strong here, has never won. Bobby Rahal never won at Road America. The track means so much to the family.
And right now, Graham Rahal showing excellent racecraft, excellent pace.
We can't tell about overtakes, but go get Harvey.
So I think that was Graham Rahal's radio as Pato Award is diving to the inside.
That was Grosjean making a move to the outside of Pato Award. Pato Award comes out ahead. And there's push to pass remaining. Look at Kevin Magnussen. He's chewed up 3/4 of his push to pass available. Meanwhile, Newgarden saving the precious seconds that are available. Listen to this.
Graham Rahal in 9th right now. Let's listen to his radio from just a few moments ago.
If they don't penalize Hunter Ray, that's ridiculous. They're reviewing.
Right now, Hunter Ray is behind.
What Graham was referring to there. Graham made the pass at turn 5. Maybe it was some other situation. We'll have to keep looking. But Graham Rahal not happy with his fellow American. On board with Pillow.
That battle rages on. The 2 up front, off strategy significantly. Newgarden has been in control. 2 cautions have bunched it back up. Remember, early in this race, Joseph Newgarden, who started on pole, was up by 6.5 seconds. That's been wiped out a couple of times, and Alex Palou has been tracking him.
And Sebastian Bourdais in the Black Rocket car, desperate, trying to unlap himself on Kevin Magnussen if he can. Further back, the battles continue. Grosjean and Award going at it once again. Grosjean making the move.
Into the top 10, and well done for Kevin Magnussen. My bad for questioning whether he could hang on to the lead. Hey, this is a guy that's finished 2nd in a Formula One race, has won a sports car race now. He is a world-renowned driver, but this is very different. Locks him up a little bit, goes wide, trying to hang on to Sebastian Bourdais, so maybe I was right.
Broadcaster curse, and he doesn't need to battle Bourdais.
No worries, man. He's a lap down. We are not racing him.
You got to tell Magnussen that earlier so he doesn't try too hard to defend.
All right, stay with us. Kevin Magnussen leading off strategy. Joseph Newgarden 3rd might be the one to watch. NASCAR, the Cup Series back in Nashville for the first time since 1984 in the Cup Series of the Super Speedway for the first time ever. After we're done, Eric Almirola on the pole. Kyle Busch starting 2nd after winning his 100th Xfinity race yesterday. Back at Road America, the battle rages up front. They're off strategy, but they're still fighting. Kevin Magnussen in the orange and black car trying to hold off Takuma Sato. Sato is going to get the position.
Magnussen, a quick study at the muscle and resilience required to deal with some of these drivers. He's duking it out with Sato there. Meanwhile, Newgarden must be getting frustrated. Newgarden knows that Magnussen and Sato are going to have to make an extra stop to get to the end. Meanwhile, Palou, this could be his best opportunity to pounce on Newgarden. I think Palou needs to make something happen now before Newgarden gets clean air, because it seems like in clean air, Newgarden has the pace advantage.
And Magnussen is going to be pitting any time now.
Did you see that moment in the kink for Palou? Big sideways snap. That's at 170 miles an hour.
That might be enough to allow Newgarden to protect the position this time. Clean air is coming soon. When does Sato peel off? Off strategy. When does Magnussen dive in? Newgarden and the rest of the field behind him should be able to make it home on the traditional three-stop race. There you go. Billy Vincent is calling Kevin Magnussen in. Now Newgarden can go to work with some clean air.
Palou getting pretty ragged on that last lap. He dropped wheels on the backside. Newgarden swerving on the straightaway. Palou with the run. Does he go for it?
He's going to look to the outside. Newgarden will swerve out as he is allowed to do and protects that position. Sato off strategy, needs to pit within the next few laps. The race is right here. The white and black Hitachi car and Joseph Newgarden running second, in control of the race. Palou, Power, Hurdle, Rossi are chasing.
Here goes Power and Colton Herta side by side. Power tucks in for more draft and then backs off for the brake zone. Further back, that's Pato O'Ward and Ed Jones mixing it up. Ed Jones in that black and yellow Sealmaster cars had pretty good pace on these black tires.
Let's listen into Pato O'Ward running 12th.
Still need 3.1.
We're going to give it to you, but we're going to get swallowed, just so you know.
I understand. The only other Chevys, the 2 and the 12, are doing more than us. It's the situation we're in, dude.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. These are the cards they've been dealt. That's been Taylor Kyle's message to Pato. So just trying to maximize every run they can. But yeah, he's got to save, and they've been reminding him of that about every lap. We need you to save more. We need you to save more. So that's a tough position to be in when you're trying not to fall down the leaderboard and also save fuel at the same time.
Here's how you do it. Watch Firestone telemetry and listen here. Big coast phase. He came off the throttle. You saw no brake lights yet. You coast the car for as long as you can, then brake as deep as you can. That's how you save fuel at Road America. Thanks to Firestone for that telemetry. And unfortunately for Pato O'Ward, you can hear it in Taylor Kyle's voice. Hey, dude, that's the situation we're in. We're in a hole. Let's get maximum points. Remember, they came into this race in the championship lead. As the cars run right now, Palou would have a 17-point lead in the championship leaving here.
Here's the question I would have, especially if you're not in the top 3 or 4 of the championship. All it's going to take is one yellow, and there's not fuel save needed. You turn it up and race if you're someone else, seeing if you can get a few positions. This is a track where you can pass.
Yeah, what is probably more of an issue for Pato O'Ward is the handling, because everybody pitted on lap 25 under that last caution. So the cars up front, Newgarden, etc., as Alexander Rossi goes to the outside of Will Power. Rossi's going to try to hold it tight and not get wide, and then watch him squeeze Will Power as they go to turn 6. Brilliant driving from Alexander Rossi, just pulled it off.
And that's one of the guys that I would wonder about. Alexander Rossi finishing 7th, 8th, 9th, whatever. That does him no good. He is not in the championship. A race win is the only thing that would satisfy Alexander Rossi today.
Don't forget, guys, he had a short stint on those red tires from Firestone, back on the blacks here, so that worked out well for them, the caution when Jimmy Johnson spun.
This kind of tells me that he may not be on big fuel save, because he has pulled away from Will Power right now. Rossi running in 5th, trying to win for the first time since he won by almost 30 seconds here 2 years ago. Sato is going to be pitting soon from the lead, so Newgarden will take back over.
Yeah, advantage Newgarden right here, because Palou, I think, had his best chance when the tires were fresh after the last stop. Here comes Sato to pit lane. Clean air for Joseph Newgarden. He's back in control with what appears to be the best car in the race. He's led almost the whole time. Seems to have no problem clicking off fastest laps. In fact, Newgarden has the fastest lap of the race. Palou's going to try to hang tight here, but Newgarden just has to settle in and make it to his final stop around lap 46, 45, something like that.
And now a question is, does Honda or Chevy get better fuel mileage up front? A Chevy with Joseph Newgarden, a Honda with Chip Ganassi Racing and Alex Palou. Then the next two are also Hondas with Andretti Autosport, Will Power with Team Penske in 5th. Don't forget about Jack Harvey lurking back there in 6th. And Graham Rahal is thinking about him as well, looking to the inside of that AutoNation car in 7th.
Rahal, a nice recovery as you go on board here. Early in this race, he said this car is a little hard to control right now. We need to make a change, and you heard him get frustrated on the radio with Ryan Hunter-Reay. But for the kid that grew up coming to this track with Pop-Pop, his grandfather and his dad, it was great this weekend for him to be able to bring his new daughter Harlan to the Road America area. And they had a great time getting around town, of course, for Father's Day. This new dad couldn't have been prouder.
And remember, Graham Rahal has not won a race in 4 years. Yes, he is still somewhat in the championship mix, but if there is a chance to go on full attack, might go for it.
This was what Graham Rahal was upset about with Ryan Hunter-Reay. We found it in the replay, going down to turn 1, getting squeezed over off the track. Graham right on the radio. No action taken. Oh no, Kevin Magnussen off the track. That's over by turn 8, exited turn 7.
Position 1.
And it looks like he might have pulled off because of mechanical.
Yeah, I don't see any damage to the car. That's where Jimmy Johnson spun off earlier.
Let's leave it in position 1 right now. If we go to 0, we won't be able to talk.
I wonder if there's something physically challenging in the
Can you tell me what happened on your end?
Just lost power. And then pulled the clutch and the engine died.
You know, guys, when he was getting ready to leave after that last stop, he commented that he couldn't get the car in gear, so maybe it's something along those lines, too.
Yeah, he said, I just lost power, and I pulled the clutch in, and the engine died. Let's listen to the replay to see what happened.
Oh, engine died. Engine's dead.
Dad, are you off track here?
100% shutdown. In fact, you don't even see any electronics displayed, meaning nothing on the wheel went dark, the dash went
Safety's
dark.
on its way here.
Yeah, it's not the engine failing, I don't think.
We'll see if we can refire it or whatnot. We'll let them know.
Almost seemed like some sort of a ECU issue, perhaps, but full electrical shutdown.
Well, here's the caution that everyone that had stopped needed. So it is going to be a flat-out race the rest of the way. There should not be any fuel save needed for those up front.
One of the guys that really helps out is Takuma Sato, who hung out there because it puts Sato kind of back in the frame. He's at the tail end of the pack, but he doesn't have a big gap anymore. Everything has been bunched back up.
So we'll go nonstop here as they retrieve Kevin Magnussen's car, and we'll get another restart coming up soon from Road America. The battle for the Stanley Cup continues tonight. It's the Las Vegas Golden Knights and the Montreal Canadiens, 8 Eastern on NBCSN and also streaming on Peacock. Oh, there's nothing like playoff hockey. What a day here on NBCSN. Motorsport throughout the afternoon. NASCAR from Nashville is after us. Here it's IndyCar from Road America. A tow-in, or actually I think they just pushed Kevin Magnussen's car out of the way. And pits are going to be open. Rain is coming. Not sure if it'll get here before the race is over, so there's a dilemma here. Will anyone up front take to pit lane here? I wouldn't think so.
Oh, somebody is. Rossi
fake out,
faking it.
Faking out, and Jack Harvey is going to come in.
Jack Harvey, the gambler. Couple more coming further back. I think that maybe was Cody Ware or Bourdais. Dylan, Jack Harvey rolling the dice.
Yeah, and they've fallen down the leaderboard further than they would have liked to after at one point running second. They were down just inside the top 10, so they'll come in here, put another set of sticker black Firestones on, and roll the dice here, see what they can do to go after their first win.
They'll have to do 18 laps to the finish, and this is also Oliver Askew taking a gamble, Dave.
He is on pit road as well, gave up 16th position, so if you're back there, why not come and take him? Askew in his second race in a row, subbing this weekend for Rinus VeeKay. And if you missed the story, VeeKay in a training accident broke his collarbone. And so Askew has been asked to come and get points for this Ed Carpenter Racing team. He'll take the gamble here as well.
So I saw Connor Daly and Simon Pagino also coming to pit lane on that round of stops. These guys will have to do 17 laps probably of green to make it to the finish as Rinus VeeKay looks on, and he's probably asking, can we make it that far?
And he told us he plans to be back in the car in 2 weeks at Mid-Ohio on 4th of July weekend. He had surgery to repair that broken collarbone, is feeling good, is already getting some range of motion back, so best wishes to Rinus VeeKay, 5th in the championship coming in.
So we've got the leaders staying out. We've got some gamblers here at the back of the field on fresh tires and full fuel. We've got rain coming. We've got Kevin Magnussen trying to figure out how he's going to get back to the pit lane. So get your final bratwurst because it's about to get fire here in Road America. There's the Bratwurst Bridge.
You know, I think this is a sound gamble by Michael Shank and Meyer Shank Racing for someone like Jack Harvey. Again, he's not in the championship. He's 13th. Yes, finishing 3rd, 4th, or 5th is nice, but he wants a win. All it's going to take for those that just came in is one more caution for 2 or 3 laps, and they get home, and these others are still going to have to pit.
Yeah, it could play out, and for Newgarden, he's got to be thinking, why do I have to go through this just over and over? The yellows and proving that, hey, we've got the fastest car. We are the car to beat. He's had the gearbox trouble earlier in the race, and he's going to be tested once again on this restart.
And keep in mind, 2-time champion Joseph Newgarden has not won in 2021. Team Penske has not won in 2021. Latest they've gone in a season since 1999. Newgarden dominated last weekend in the second half of the doubleheader at Detroit. He's been in charge again here today. Will he be able to finish it off? Coming back to green at Road America as they go back up the hill. It's Newgarden, Palou, Herta, Rossi, and Power, the top 5. They're a little tighter further back.
Beautiful chopper shot. It's pretty spread out. Doesn't look like anybody's going to attack into turn 1. But we'll have to see what happens when they get to 3. Graham Rahal looking just a little bit there on Will Power in the black and red car. Rahal closing now in that white and red Hy-Vee car. Let's see if he can get a run coming off 3.
Keep an eye on Scott Dixon, too, back there in 8th. One of the championship contenders who's been able to move forward after a challenging weekend so far. You can see him there in the middle of the screen in the blue and orange car.
Here comes Romain Grosjean in the purple car. Going to pop out on Graham Rahal. Is he? No! Graham Rahal defends. Then Grosjean goes for it.
Almost gets into Power. He does hang on Rahal.
That was pretty cool.
For 6th. Grosjean almost won at Indianapolis. Lap traffic came into play there on the road course. Started on pole, finished 2nd, and now he kicks up some dirt but hangs on to it.
Grosjean throws it off the road after he makes that pass. Now his tires are going to be pretty dirty. Should clean up right here. The longest corner on the track, 9 seconds. They'll sit at about 3.5 G's through here. Huge lateral load, not only on the driver, but on those Firestones.
But he stayed right on the gearbox of Will Power and still might have a run. We'll watch from the Hy-Vee on board of Graham Rahal. Up ahead, Power in 5th, Grosjean right behind him in 6th.
Guys, last week in Detroit, Romain Grosjean ran okay, but had problems in the first race at Belle Isle. But overnight, engineer Olivier Boisson told me they made a change to the race car that really pleased the Frenchman. So today, for race day, they made a similar change since yesterday in the final warm-up when Romain did not like the car. Olivier was hoping that would be again amenable, and it is. He's moving forward.
Meanwhile, Grosjean's teammate, Ed Jones, moving up there. 48 seconds of push to pass left. So the Dale Coyne cars hanging tough with some of the big boy teams here in the closing stretch. Pato Award, meanwhile, has regrouped. Undoubtedly, that yellow really helped them on the mileage they needed to see to make it to the end.
The window, by the way, would conceivably open in a couple of laps if you wanted to come in early and try to do something different. 14 laps on a stint is, I think, ideal. Fuel save, 15. Super save, 16.
We saw 17 on Super Save last year, but the pace is certainly nothing to be proud of. That's the yin and yang. The sacrifice with saving gas is you have to slow down. Man, drivers over and over again dropping wheels there at the exit of turn 7.
So what's that like when you're the trailing car and there's nothing but a cloud of dust in your eyes?
It's days of thunder, baby. Just aim for the cloud and hang on.
Romain Grosjean having another strong IndyCar day as a rookie after his Formula One sojourn. Joseph Newgarden trying to bring it home. A great day at Road America and on NBCSN.
At Road America, Wisconsin, this is Joseph Newgarden leaving pit road. He was leading the race. He gave up that lead to pit for what could be the final time. Team Penske put on the primary Firestone tires, and now we'll have to see where the rest of the field, as they pit, will blend in with Newgarden. It hands the lead over to the 24-year-old, originally from Barcelona. That would be Alex Palou, still on track. Kevin Lee.
And Scott Dixon was one of those that had just come in, so that was interesting to see where he comes out. He was running, I think, 9th before he was the first to make the final stop, and Dixon did it on the softer compound red Firestones. Will they last the rest of the way? He thinks they will.
Could be a good break for Dixon there, undercutting the rest of the field there as Alex Palou stays out, the leader now. 14 laps to go when Palou comes by here. You got to think they're going to cover here and come to pit lane and stay out of the danger zone. There comes the call from Barry Wanzer. And the blend out between Palou and Newgarden should be tight.
So it's not just pit stop time, it's in and out laps. Who is best on the cold tires? Dave, we're going to be able to see that battle between Palou and Newgarden in just a minute.
Yes, we will. Alex Palou's team will go to work for him. They'll also put on the primary Firestones, and then the young man will go after the pit exit, of course, minding the pit speed with the pit limiter. And as they go to work, let's see if they have what we would consider a flawless stop. 4 tires have to come out. The front ones, they weigh 30 pounds apiece. The rears, the assembly weighs 40 pounds apiece. The fuel is in to get in the end. That looked pretty clean. What do you think, Townsend?
Oh, it is on. There you see Newgarden at the bottom end of your screen of the helicopter. Here comes Palou. The battle in turn 1. Who's going to get it? Newgarden to the front.
Quite handily. And he's got hotter tires. We see Herta also was one of those that just made what should be their final stop. Newgarden, Palou.
Further back, I think there'll be a battle with Herta, Rossi, Grosjean, and Rahal going down to turn 5. Newgarden comfortably in the lead, and here it is. I think that's Rossi.
Full range, just go for it.
And Dixon, there's Dixon, Rossi, then Graham Rahal in the red and white car, and Grosjean. This is going to get dicey. Watch Graham Rahal make a move on Rossi going to turn 6.
And we saw Dixon weaving back and forth to try to break the draft just a little bit on the Hy-Vee on board with Rahal.
Yeah, Graham Rahal just had to back out of it. Graham on the reds, and look, Graham defending on Grosjean. He pushes Grosjean right off the track.
Some runoff room there, but it's going to cost some time for Grosjean. Back there now battling with Pato O'Ward.
And I think that's a byproduct from the issue that Graham was complaining about with Ryan Hunter-Reay earlier, and Graham saying, hey, if that's allowable, then I'm all in. Graham Rahal stepping up and playing the rules of the game that appear to be on for today, which is, hey, as long as a guy doesn't go all the way off in the grass, if he's on asphalt, it's okay to have your elbows out and push him wide. Grosjean probably not at all stoked on that move and wants to get Rahal back right here.
Rahal, Grosjean, and O'Ward. This is for 13th, but we have different strategies. Those up front, Chilton, Sato, Askew, Harvey, Daly are going to need a caution to be able to get home from there.
Yeah, they'll need a lot of caution, or maybe even a little help from the weather.
It's Newgarden leading the race if things go straight forward. Then below, Bourdais is also off strategy there, effectively in 3rd, 8th. He shouldn't be 3rd because he's going to need one more stop. Then the next two, Herta, Power, Dixon is the one most in question, but you know he can save enough fuel to get home. And then Rossi, Rahal, Grosjean, Award on down should have made their final stop.
Rahal going off there wide. Now Pato Award has a chance to make a move on Rahal. Rahal seems to be struggling a little bit on those reds.
Guys, talking fuel, Newgarden is not completely in the green either. He's got to save just a little bit. Remember, 15 laps to the end for him, so that's right in the middle of your calculations earlier, Townsend, and they just told him they have a number for him to get right to 0, empty, and they have a number to be just a little bit safe. Run the safe number when you can.
Yeah, and Palou went a lap further. Very significant on a 4-mile track along with Colton Herta, so they'll have more fuel to use to get to the end. Let's hear some chatter on fuel save.
Anything we save now, we'll be able to use later. 45 is probably the safer number. 40 is like 0, empty.
So that's good to hear that. That's not desperation. That's just, we're going to get there, but we might have a late restart. We might simply have a battle later in the race. Save me some now, manage the gap, and we'll be good to go.
Yeah, Joseph Newgarden sounding very much in control, said 10-4. I'll get the number. Newgarden now approaching the back end of Connor Daly there in the 20 car for Ed Carpenter Racing. And talk about saving fuel. Those cars like Daly, Harvey, Askew, I mean, it would take a miracle to save that much gas to make it to the end. I don't think they're saving much. I think they know, barring some force majeure, they're going to have to make a final stop for a splash.
Yeah, their best hope is that it does magically start raining, so everyone has to make one more stop to come in for Firestone rain tires. Max Chilton leading. He came in and topped off under the last caution and has been able to cycle forward.
And Sato last pitted on lap 33, so let's take a look at where this weather is. It is everywhere to the west and the southwest. Approaching Lake Michigan and the bullseye that is Elkhart Lake. Palou getting around Connor Daly. I think Connor's trying to save mad fuel at this point, just hoping that it leaves him some options. Now Newgarden and Palou need to dispose of Jack Harvey swiftly, especially Newgarden. He doesn't want to get hung up and fall into the clutches of Palou, who has more fuel, but less push to pass available. Newgarden with 91 seconds, Palou with just 51 seconds. Good chance for Palou right here to put the pressure on and make Newgarden burn more fuel. And that was huge. Newgarden getting around Harvey, and Palou decides to go for it. He gets it done.
Yeah, that's big for Palou not to lose the track position, to wait another entire straightaway to get by Jack Harvey, who was trying a Hail Mary by coming in, looking for a caution to be able to get to the finish. By the way, Max Chilton up front still needs to be able to pit, but he is leading his first race since
like 40 to 45
in 2018. So sorry I stepped on Joseph and Tim Cindric there, but he was asking, do they have to pit? Tim Cindric was saying yes, by around 40 or 45. He's asking about the group that is in front of them. Grosjean and Rossi come together.
Grosjean sending it so deep in the brake zone there. I thought there was going to be contact. I wonder if Rossi looked in his right side mirror and said, uh-oh, torpedo coming. Left enough room, but pushed Grosjean onto that turn-in curb. There's just no grip. But let's take a look at this once again. I've been talking about this all weekend with Newgarden. Look at the left side of his car. Half the tire is off of the track.
But the half that matters is on.
Yeah. Look at that. You can see the shutter from the right side Firestones for Romain Grosjean. Brakes glowing red, and watch this. Total commitment from Grosjean. Didn't even lock a tire. That's impressive control on the brake pedal to keep the tire rotating and not lock up. 10 laps left.
And don't forget, right after we're done, Motorsports continues. We'll take you to Nashville, Music City, the Nashville Super Speedway for NASCAR Cup Racing. How about Brad Paisley hosting the broadcast today along with Dale Earnhardt Jr.? That's coming up right after Victory Lane here. We'll have some bonus IndyCar coverage, by the way, on NBCSports.com. while you can multitask with NASCAR on NBCSN from Nashville.
So we'll have to watch the pace of Colton Herta as he gets by Jack Harvey. Last lap for Newgarden, a 49.2. Palou, a 49.5. Colton Herta, a 50.3, but in some traffic. Palou is hanging right there with Newgarden.
And Newgarden asked for a clarification on the fuel. You may have heard it while you guys were discussing there. What do I have to run? And so Tim Cindric, having fudged the number just a little so that his driver stays in the safe zone for fuel saving, cut it down just a little bit more. The number for really safe was 45, 40 on the number, and then he said 38 would be 0 in the tank. Now, I don't know what their numbers stand for, but you can see where Tim tried to help his driver, and now the driver's saying, just let me clarify, I got to have the exact.
Imagine Newgarden trying to do all the math and the thinking there as he's hustling his car around Road America that requires so much commitment behind the wheel. Now, here's the problem. Newgarden might have about 40 seconds more push to pass, but every time you use that, Kevin, it requires more fuel.
Exactly. Yeah, that's why oftentimes people ask, well, why did you finish the race with all that push to pass in the bank? It's because you were short on fuel. Thanks for that update, Dave, too. I was trying to be able to decipher what Tim and Joseph were talking about, and you got it right there as Joseph. Newgarden continues to control the race and Will Power making his way forward on those on a different strategy, fuel saving.
Yep, now if Power can settle into a good pace here and Newgarden's got to save some gas up front and kind of stacks up Palou, this could turn into a 5-car battle for the finish as Rossi gets by Connor Daly, and oh no, here comes Grosjean with a run of steam to turn 1 once again on Rossi.
Rossi will defend to the inside. He'll make Grosjean go the long way around. Grosjean says he loves this place. It reminds him of Spa, a European track. How close do you like it? Inches apart, around the outside. Romain Grosjean gets the spot.
What a move from Grosjean, but here comes Rossi. He's going to look back on Grosjean. Grosjean left a paper-thick distance between his tires and Rossi's. That was brilliant stuff.
Olivier Besson celebrating his driver, but it's not done yet. Rossi will try to go around the long way, and they've got to deal with the fuel-saving Jack Harvey right in front, and that forced Rossi to abort the passing attempt.
Grosjean locks up, gets wide, swerves over, and takes away the brake zone in turn 6. Meanwhile, Pato Award and Graham Rahal, they want in on the action.
It's been elbows out all day here at Road America. And can you imagine the surprise when Rossi pops out and sees a slower car right in his path? Ed Jones to the inside of Sebastian Bourdais, who is well off strategy, trying to make a miracle happen.
On board with Hunter-Reay. Here comes Pato Award. He's on the charge. No more red tire struggles. He's got the blacks back on. Going to try to make a move on Harvey. Knows Harvey has to save crazy fuel to make it. Now Award is clear. And once the leaders come in for their final stop with Newgarden going to the front, that effectively would put Award in 8th.
Let's go back to what Romain Grosjean was doing just a moment ago from Alexander Rossi's look.
This was a big-time move from Grosjean, going outside to turn 1. Full send. Great stuff.
Rahal and Jack Harvey continues to fall backwards, and this is going to be another one that got away from Jack Harvey. He qualified up front. He was legit running 5th or 6th. I understand the Hail Mary try, but it's going to look like another awful day for Jack Harvey because keep in mind, he still has to pit one more time. He's going to finish way in the back. Dylan.
Well, and I think at this point, Kevin, they're just going to try to nurse it all the way home without having to stop again. But yeah, as you alluded to, it was a good day that has kind of gone sour for these guys, which unfortunately has been the case more than once this year. So not going to get the result they want, Dave.
And if you're wondering about Oliver Askew, they did just radio to him in the number 21 car running 3rd. We will have to pitch you in a couple laps. Stay tuned. We'll let you know.
It's been a great day for Askew when you think about the challenges coming in last second to a new team. His pace has been great, was quick right off the truck in practice. They did gamble, like Jack Harvey, like Sato. Doesn't look like it's going to pay off today, but in terms of what Oliver Askew could do in the cockpit, you really couldn't have done a better job as a young driver trying to earn his way back into IndyCar full-time as Max Chilton pits from the lead.
We knew that was coming. He was way off strategy. He gives up the lead, so Sato has it, but it will be very brief. Askew might have it for a moment, and then Joseph Newgarden is going to retake control of this race. Sato is also in at the same time.
Yeah, these guys are going to blend out right around that battle with Graham Rahal and Ed Jones, I think. So still a decent result on offer as you see Chilton, Sato come out looking for Pato Award. There's Graham Rahal and Ed Jones. Looks like just in front of Marcus Ericsson in the first red and white car. Sato in front of Ed Jones, but cold tires for these cars. Rahal getting by Max Chilton there. Meanwhile, 7 laps to go up front. Askew still leading. But we think he's going to for sure have to make a final stop on board with Pato Award.
Yeah, Askew actually pitted even earlier than those that just stopped. So he's going to stay out as long as he can. Hope for a torrential downpour that forces everyone to pit. That's the only thing that's going to save Askew.
Meanwhile, Alex Palou, I think, has a good shot to win this thing. He continues to close on Newgarden, match Newgarden's lap time. Let's just ride for a few corners or more with Alex Palou. Just watch and listen to the anger, the aggression behind the wheel, trying to close the gap.
Disposal. Keep in mind, if Palou could win today, he would be the first Chip Ganassi Racing driver to win multiple races in a season other than Scott Dixon since Dario Franchitti won his 4th title a decade ago. That's the last time anyone other than Scott Dixon was tops in points for Chip Ganassi Racing. Dave, Alex Palou is the championship leader as they run.
And he has his own branding, Kevin. It is a gorilla. In fact, we saw it last week when he lent his shoes to Oliver Askew, who was called in for the last minute to race for Rosenquist. And I asked him this week about that because I couldn't find anywhere where it had been said why the gorilla is his brand. And he told me it's very, very calm most of the time, but when it needs to be, it's very aggressive. He said, I needed something distinctive, and so the gorilla is mine. Be ready for me.
Yeah, I think I see the gorilla here on the right hand as Alex Palou makes a roll bar adjustment, part of the branding on the driver's glove to remind him, hey, there's a time and place for everything. And could be gorilla time here with 5 laps to go at the line.
Alex Palou is the most polite, seems sweetest young guys you will see, but you know there is an animal in there. You can't win races at this level without being fierce.
You're back to P2.
Meanwhile, Joseph Newgarden effectively in control because Oliver Askew is going to need to pit soon. Palou is within range.
And just think back to 1 week ago at Detroit at the Grand Prix. Joseph Newgarden was in this position leading with 5 laps to go, battling out with Pato Award, and was so devastated Newgarden was to come home second on that day. And I can't help but think that Newgarden has got to be considering his fortunes here, where he's saving some fuel with a hard-charging, race-winning capable driver in Alex Palou, who's shown it already this year at Barber Motorsports Park. And as they run right now, Palou would reclaim the championship lead by 15 points over Pato Award. So a lot to play for, 20 miles of racing left here at Road America.
How about this to remind you that it's not done? In the last 5 IndyCar races, the driver leading the most laps has not won the race. Joseph Newgarden has led the most today, but it is never done. Who hangs on to the Firestones? The best at the end of the race. That 10 car did last year with Felix Rosenqvist chasing down Pato O'Ward in the final few laps, passing him and gapping him. What does Palou have today?
And I said at the start of the race that I know Team Penske and Joseph Newgarden desperately want to win, but don't forget all the lessons from 6 championships with Scott Dixon. Newgarden, as they run right now, would move to 4th in the championship, just 42 points out of the lead. And I should correct you, he was in 4th leading into this race, but he was 50 points back, so he would still draw closer, and that's how Scott Dixon does it every year. Newgarden looks to be in a position to pull it off, but if Pato can get in the draft and force Newgarden to burn more fuel, that's going to put Newgarden in a more vulnerable position in the last couple laps. Meanwhile, Askew on the top side of the screen has to make that painfully long drive down pit lane under green flag conditions for his last stop.
Oh, and now he's thinking, oh, I should have stayed out one more lap. Would the caution have helped me?
Ed Jones.
I don't know which tire it was.
And guys, they were coming in this lap. Ed knew he had a problem. They were trying to get it around to pit road. Something in the steering, it sounded like. This changes everything.
What it does is it puts Newgarden to the good on fuel. So Newgarden can now use that push to pass, but unfortunately, it puts Herta, Power, and Dixon, unfortunately for Newgarden, into the frame. Let's see what happened with Ed Jones over in Cannon Corner. Seems like 0 power. Oh boy, the left rear just completely failed. Something went horribly wrong. I wonder if there was contact potentially earlier on for Ed Jones, but it looked like the upright or the suspension on the left rear just collapsed. And he's lucky because the corner before that was the kink.
Yeah.
Right rear, excuse me, left rear. Suspecting it'll hook it up and pull it.
Look at that left rear tire.
Well, just a catastrophic failure of some sort there. I mean, Ed Jones has been in wheel-to-wheel battles with so many cars today.
Good point. Yeah, at some point, things eventually fail when you bang on them all day.
I can't tell you how lucky he and the team are to just have that failure, because the 2 previous corners, the carousel and the kink, are some of the fastest you'll find anywhere in the world on road courses, and those could be huge accidents.
Here's what I mentioned, Townsend. Just because you dominate the race doesn't mean you're going to bring it home first to the checkers. And now a reset puts Joseph Newgarden potentially more in peril. Good or bad for him? He's now good on fuel, and he's held off everyone on restarts, but it's a reset for Palou, Herta, Power.
Green next time. So we'll have 2 laps of green. We'll be able to run wheel 1 and overtake to the end.
So there you go. We'll be able to run wheel 1 and overtake, but I'd say bad just because you've seen how fierce these restarts are. Everybody going for it in brake zones, and I think Newgarden would probably have preferred he had kind of the fuel mileage under control. It looked like Palou was challenged to get too close to him. So Newgarden's going to have to earn it once again. How many yellows have we had today? This is 4 yellows. At Road America, that's quite a few.
We've had a couple in recent years with none.
Well, and the problem is that sometimes yellows do breed yellows, but with 3 laps to go, I don't think there would be time for another restart. It'll be 2 to go at the line.
A win for Joseph Newgarden would make it 8 different winners in 9 races. Give Team Penske their first win. Joseph Newgarden, by the way, his next win, he becomes the winningest active American driver. Ryan Hunter-Reay has won 18, still active. Joseph Newgarden has won 18. But there's an angry pack of young drivers right behind him, or a pack of 2 is too big enough. Alex Palou, Colton Herta. You know Will Power is ready to seek some vengeance after controlling the end of one of the Detroit races last weekend. Don't forget, after we're done, we'll take you straight to Nashville Super Speedway with Brad Paisley and Dale Earnhardt Jr. It's the second half of the season, 10 before the playoffs. NBC takes you over all the way through the playoffs and the championship, and it gets going from a very unique place today. NASCAR Cup racing for the first time at the Nashville Super Speedway. All day long racing here on NBCSN. And we feel privileged to kick it off here from Road America. Who you got here, Townsend?
Oh, you got to be careful of those two black cars in P3 and P4. Black and yellow and black and red. Colton Herta, Will Power. I don't think they've got a lot to lose here. The other guys are in championship contention. So watch the Gainbridge car, the Verizon 5G car. They are hungry, on the attack, and ready to go.
I would have said keep an eye on Alexander Rossi a little further back. Out of push to pass, though. The top four, though, have some. Turn 14.
And Newgarden gets an early jump on the field. Puts a little bit of space between himself and Alex Palou. 2 laps to go at the line.
8 miles at Road America. Joseph Newgarden looking to win for the first time in 2021. Alex Palou's got to run to the outside. He's going to blow by Joseph Newgarden.
What happened to Newgarden? It's like he lost drive up the hill. That is a shocker.
There was a popping sound as he got past the start-finish line and entered turn 1, guys. I don't know what it was.
Disaster once again for Joseph Newgarden and Team Penske, the most dominant car, and now Colton Herta's going to have a run.
Joseph Newgarden is going to be inconsolable. He's dropping back like a rock. Scott Dixon coming through.
Oh no, emergency mode. Whatever gremlin they might have had at the beginning of the race disappeared. Look at Max Chilton making moves. This yellow really helped him.
Heartbreak for Joseph.
Can't do anything.
Oh, for Joseph Newgarden.
Oh my gosh, and you think about Team Penske with Will Power at Detroit's race 1, couldn't refire the car. Newgarden getting jumped. Look at this, Newgarden is just falling like a lead sinker.
Not only for this race, but in the championship as well. This might be season chances close to done for Newgarden from where he's going to finish.
I'll bet that caught Palou by surprise. He was probably trying to figure out what happened to Newgarden because, man, they just did everything right today. And Lady Luck, absolutely cruel to Newgarden, Team Penske so far this year.
And now Alex Palou has led 7 of the 9 races in 2021. He turned heads here last year at Road America with his performance with Dale Coyne Racing. He's got one more lap to go to become a 2-time winner in IndyCar and take a stranglehold on the championship. Alex Palou by almost 2 seconds on Colton Herta.
Further back, Marcus Ericsson wants to work his way into the top 5. That's Grosjean again in the purple car. Grosjean with a spectacular drive today, but it hasn't come easy. He's had to defend. He's had to be aggressive. There's been side-to-side car contact. He's been off track, on track. Grosjean has survived, and he needs a little more here for a top 5. Here comes Ericsson looking on Grosjean.
What a day it's been for Marcus Ericsson, fresh off his first win from 18th to 8th. Can you make it even better? Trying to get inside the top 5 is Marcus Ericsson.
Meanwhile, Scott Dixon quietly, confidently negotiating his way to a top 4 position here with a few corners to go. He's still 3rd in the championship as they run right now, but it's Newgarden that'll take the biggest penalty in points because Palou, if he can hang on here, would go to a 28-point lead over Pato O'Ward in the championship, and he's just nursing it through the carousel, taking it easy on the tires.
When Alex Palou won in Barber, the consensus was, okay, we knew he's good. He's not ready to compete for a championship. Today, I think we might be learning something different. Alex Palou has been consistent virtually every single weekend. He was right there, tracking Joseph Newgarden throughout the day, waiting for a mistake. It turns out it was a mechanical. That was the opportunity. Final corner for Alex Palou, looking for win number 2 and to take over the championship lead by a big margin. Alex Palou has won at Road America for Chip Ganassi Racing.
Thank you. Yeah. Congratulations, everyone.
everybody. Awesome drive, Alex. Awesome drive. Awesome to everybody.
And by the way, -1 going into the day for Palou. Now plus 28 on Pato Award for the championship. And then there's the other side of things. Agony of defeat, oh boy. Joseph Newgard comes home 21st, last, not even on the lead lap. More to come.
Shocking here at Road America.
Yes. We'll get to National Superspeedway in a few minutes, but we're going to hear from Alex Palou coming up here in Wisconsin. Just a few minutes away from NASCAR in Nashville, Alex Palou with a remarkable win. What a turn of events here today. And let's take a look at the Children's Miracle Network moment of the race. You know what's coming, Townsend.
Oh man, Newgard could not believe his luck. Issues with the drivetrain coming up the front straightaway. Palou with the huge run makes the move and ultimately takes the cake.
6th consecutive race where the driver leading the most laps did not win. There haven't been 6 in a row in a single season since 1978. And Alex Palou now leads by almost a full race on Pato Award. Let's head to victory lane and Dave Burns.
And Alex Palou is getting ready to climb out of the number 10 Honda Dallara from Chip Ganassi Racing. When he was a young man in Spain, he imagined himself in IndyCar racing. Not a lot of drivers from overseas necessarily do that, but he did. He loved the series, and he loves it today at Road America. Alex, that is two. Be careful now. This is always the most dangerous part. That's right. We don't want any victory lane accidents. What went through your mind on that restart when you saw Joseph slowing?
Yeah, man, I don't know what to say. Look at these guys. Thank you to all the number 10 car crew. And
here comes the hug. Look out. Oh, the high five and the hug. There's Chip. Barry Wanzer, he called strategy all day for Alex.
yeah, it was amazing. We had a really good car during the race. And yeah, I don't know, HPD did an amazing job because we were able to overtake him before the corner. So super happy, super proud of the Chip Ganassi Racing team. And yeah, I can't believe it.
You told me before the race you could imagine this team 2 in a row here at Road America. What's next?
Mid-Ohio, right? Let's get a win there.
All right, fantastic day for him here today. Alex Palou in victory lane here in Wisconsin, Kevin.
Back-to-back wins at Road America for the number 10 of Chip Ganassi Racing, and here's the other side of the story, Townsend.
Yeah, I mean, just speechless, devastated. I'm sure furious with the way this ended up. He did everything right, had the car, had the moves, had the speed, just not the luck.
What a day it's been. Lee Diffie will be back with us a couple of weeks from now at Mid-Ohio. For Townsend Bell, Dylan Welch, and Dave Burns, I'm Kevin Lee, and we're just getting started. NASCAR from Nashville is coming up. The NHL later on tonight as well. Congratulations, Alex Palou, another 2-time winner this season, championship leader. Now let's go to Nashville. We'll turn it over to Brad Paisley and Dale Jr. for Countdown to Green. What a day, and thanks to those of you joining us on the NBC Sports app at NBCSports.com. While NASCAR takes over on NBCSN, some bonus coverage for you here today on the Sports app. And let's look at the unofficial results from today. This one is going to take a little while to unpack. I always go back and watch them again. It might take 2 views this time.
I mean, all day long, Joseph Newgard and Team Penske had this thing totally under control until the final restart with 2 laps to go. In the end, Palou, Colton Herta, Will Power getting it done. And all the way down through the list, that kind of risky gamble for Max Chilton paid off on the final stop. Graham Rahal with a strong run, a lot of action side by side. He's probably got to be scratching at his head after all that effort. How did I come home just 11th? Same thing for Ryan Hunter-Reay. Further back, some of these drivers were involved with lots of drama. Jack Harvey gambled big time, and boy, that one stung at the end. Harvey coming home all the way down in 17th, but Newgarden, the story at the start, and frankly, the absolutely devastating story at the finish. Can't quite imagine what's going through his head, but let's find out. Head down with Dylan Welch.
And yeah, he has composed himself a little bit and emerged from the trailer. So, Joseph, what did you feel there on that restart, and just kind of take us inside the cockpit and what you were dealing with?
So down the front straightaway, as soon as I got to 5th gear, tried to shift to 6th, and it didn't take the selection, so I was stuck in 5th. Was trying to get it up to 6th gear and it wouldn't go. And then I got stuck in 5th in turn 1, and then finally got it to go down, and I just could not get it to upshift after that. So I got down to 1st essentially, just trying to stay out of the mayhem, and just couldn't get the thing to upshift. So I'm not sure what happened. You know, it's obviously disappointing for all of us. But I know we had a great car. We had a good car all day. We were doing everything we needed to, surviving yellows, you know, surviving the fuel game. I felt like our car was a rocket ship. Team Chevy did a great job for us. We had such amazing fuel mileage and good power. So I'm super pleased for all of that. Really, really proud of our team, proud of our partners. Just, I guess it wasn't meant to be again, you know. I think we got fast cars. It's just not working out for some reason right now. So we're gonna claw. We'll call it back, believe me. You know, it's just not what I was planning for coming out of this day. I would have liked us to have been a little closer, but what are we, 88? It's just a different challenge for when we go to next week. So yeah, we'll get after it.
Thanks, Joseph. Tough end to what was looking to be a great day for this Penske team. Dave?
Colton Herta ends up 2nd, was probably set on finishing 3rd, and I'm wondering today why you couldn't compete for 1st there right at the end, Colton.
Yeah, we were just down a little bit on a little bit of everything for today. You know, I think we were going to finish where we deserved to finish in 3rd. I think we had 3rd place pace, but yeah, feel bad for Joseph. That was pretty awful to see. So yeah, podium's nice. 2nd place, I'm happy with that. Happy to be with Gamebridge and powered by Honda. Big thank you to them, and a Honda won too, so that's awesome.
Looking ahead, Mid-Ohio in a couple of weeks, where are you at right now with the 26?
We got a good group here, and we're kind of chipping away at it. You know, we've been in position to win more than 2 races this year, 2 or 3 races. So I'd say it's been a really good year so far. Just need to kind of get the finer details in place, and then we'll be here every weekend. So yeah.
And then maybe we can make every weekend to St. Pete. The St. Pete winner, 2nd today, Colton Herta. And I'm going to step right over here, Bama. If you'll follow me, we're going to find Romain Grosjean, who's breaking things down with Olivier Boisson. A top 5 for you today. Not exactly where you want to end up, but a little aggression got you some spots today.
Yeah, we did. I think we gained more position than anyone else on track. The pit stop didn't quite go to plan. We lost about 11 position on both pit stops under yellow, so I had to make up for it. But the car was great. We found something from yesterday. And I must say, that was one of the funniest races I've ever had in my career. It was just right, left, center, go for it.
Contact.
And contact, yeah, fair bit of contact. But I feel like it's just the way that you go in IndyCar. But I had great fun, I enjoyed it. You know, I think without a couple of few bits and pieces, we could have, we could have been on the podium, but I think it's a good weekend for us.
Are you more comfortable with that contact? Because where you came from, it's not such a big thing. Here, it looks like you've got to muscle around every lap.
Yeah, you do. I mean, the one with Graham Rahal going to turn 8 was a bit of a... We got lucky that I could go on the right-hand side, because if not, the wheels would have got together and could have been a little bit messy. So it's just a moving and a braking that I still need to get used to, because I like to launch from far away. But it doesn't quite work here. So yeah, but it was cool, and sadly I ran out of push to pass quite before the end. So the last restart I was like, oh, hang in there, hang in there.
That's right. That's what you do in IndyCar. Another great day for Romain Grosjean. 5th place for him. Looking around for whoever else is down here. And Kevin, I'm going to send. Oh, I'm going to walk. And there is Will Power. Will, we found you. Didn't find victory lane today, but how pleased are you with where you ended up?
Yeah, I mean, very pleased, very pleased. I was very pleased in qualifying to get in the Fast 6 again. I've had a really bad year of qualifying, so super stoked to get the Verizon 5G Chevy on the podium, and we'll keep digging for a win here. I mean, we thought we had one in Detroit there, but obviously that didn't work out. Got a little bit emotional, but I love it. I love winning so much and competing that I get very, very upset when I, give away a good win. But yeah, certainly a fun day today.
Well, and as we know, that one wasn't on you, but I'm going to ask, today, does this sort of help get us back on the right track? Does it help your emotions when after last week you can come back and do well here?
Yes, it does. Yeah, the whole weekend, just slowly creeping up in practice and kind of just getting up to speed. And, really, I don't know what the luck with our team right now, but for Joseph to have a gearbox issue on the last bloody lap, almost a race one, like we were in Detroit, and just, heartbreaking.
You need to find that gremlin at the shop and kick it out, right?
Oh, man, I'm telling you, I couldn't believe it when he's pulling off to the side. Yeah.
He said it just wouldn't take fifth gear coming down. Great day for you. Nice recovery. We're going to walk back over here to Scott Dixon as well. Speaking of recoveries, started 13th and ended up over here. But very Dixon-like, Scott. What was it like from your perspective?
It was good, actually. The car had good pace. We didn't get much out of the first set of reds because of the caution. We'd only just pitted, so that would have been nice to run them in full distance. But yeah, kudos to everybody on the PNC number 9. Obviously, proud to be powered by Honda. They did a tremendous job today, and big congrats to Palou. That was, I know, unlucky for Joseph there at the end. Not sure what happened, but yeah, I think if we start a little further out, we should be okay. So I got to work on that with the team, and we'll get it going. But good recovery for points.
And of course, the field doesn't want that. They want you to start where you did start. As far as the championship goes, that for Palou, he's legging it out just a little bit here. You sort of stayed where you were last weekend to Detroit, but are you trending in the right direction in your mind?
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I think the last 3 weekends, had we had a little bit of luck go our way, it would have been a totally different kind of outcome in Indy, double at Detroit, with qualifying issues and things like that, and then the problems we had here. So I don't want to say that we're always having problems, but the last 3 weeks have been tough. So if we can get on a bit of a roll here, have a bit of a smooth time, I think the number 9 will be in contention and will be strong. But it's great for the team. Obviously to see Marcus get a win, Palou now with 2 wins. We've had a win. It's big for everybody at Chip Ganassi Racing. A lot of happy faces, which is good to see.
Like to seeing you smile too. He hit things, other cars hit him, but he ends up in the top 5. That's Scott Dixon, Kevin.
Yeah, we were kind of kicking around up here. Certainly Alex Palou has proved he's the real deal, as has Pato Ward, but keep your eye on Scott Dixon for championship number 7. Let's go back to the beginning of this eventful day with Joseph Newgarden up front, where he spent most of the day.
Yeah, I mean, no delay in the action right from the drop of the green flag, 2 and 3 wide all the way through the field. Elbows were out all day long. Herta pushing Will Power off, then Grosjean pushing Alexander Rossi off. I mean, it just goes on and on. Look at this.
And Takuma Sato was penalized, giving up the spot for that avoidable contact. We stayed green through the first stint. After the first round of pit stops, Jimmy Johnson goes around, bringing out the first of 4 cautions.
That stacked everybody back up. And then lap 23, Marcus Ericsson. Big old tank slapper coming out of turn 3, loses it, goes backward, car stalls.
And he recovered to finish 6th in this race.
How's that happen? Lap 34, on board with Kevin Magnussen, loses all drive and all electrical, it appears, has to pull off at the exit of turn 7. That was the end of the day for Magnussen.
Eventful for the Formula One crowd. We've talked about Ericsson, Grosjean, and Magnussen here. And then Alex Palou getting Joseph Newgarden in what turned out to be a mechanical issue for Newgarden on a light restart. Alex Palou takes some control of the championship with win number 2 of the season, number 4 this year for Chip Ganassi Racing.
Yeah, and you look at just the competitiveness of this series for one team to win 4 after 9 is pretty impressive for Chip Ganassi. Looking down through those points, boy, I just can't help. I zero in on Dixon. Where is he? 53 points back. We just heard from him. He doesn't seem worried at all going down the stretch. As long as he's in with a taste of the lead, he's got to feel so confident in that PNC team as we see Alex Palou, Colton Herta, and Will Power take home the bling.
Well, it has been a wonderful day here at Road America, and we'll do it again in a couple of weeks in Mid-Ohio. Hope you can join us. There's NASCAR coverage on NBCSN throughout the day. For Townsend Bell, Dylan Welch, Dave Burns, I'm Kevin Lee. Let the celebration begin for Alex Palou.